Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. How are we all? I can hear myself, which means I haven't turned something off. Now I've turned it off. I'm no longer echoing in my own ears.
I like that we all just sat there patiently in silence. just leaving you out to dry on that one as well.
That's okay.
Does anybody else hear that? Oh, okay.
This is going well already. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, players. Welcome, viewers. Not you, Gary. I would like to thank everybody for this wonderful playing a Jasper game pre-game day week event, which I'm on. Jasper's game day, as you know, we've got remarkable, phenomenal of their ambassador on the stream. We'll explain it more, but this is mental health, an incredibly important cause that even after all 2 years pandemic and what's going on is still incredibly important and incredibly so many people know and don't know. However, what's going to happen here, I'm going to tell a story. This story will probably go off rails quite horribly. Moving swiftly on from that, I'm going to introduce absolutely phenomenal cast. I'm going to check my absolutely phenomenal cast because I've been told my mic is playing a bit silly. So I'm going to do this. Hello.
Ah, that's nice.
I feel like a radio presenter now that has leaning problems. Hello. Moving swiftly on. So I'm going to introduce this wonderful cast. Then we will kick off in this adventure. Couple of things for you out there in internet land. There is a rewards section, which seems to be mainly to hurt me in many different ways and eventually help some of the players. It's all for a good cause. Whether you can spend a penny or a cent or $1, or you're just retweeting this and watching us and supporting it, that's what counts, folks. It's not the cash that comes through. It's really just your support and pushing this wonderful message out there. So if you do see rewards that basically torture me, feel free in torturing the players instead. Think Chris needs to run a game and this will be great. But without further ado, I will start to introduce this wonderful cast. They're just going to say who they are, give themselves a little bit of a spruik, like Ardent Roleplay that have wonderfully hosted this and create some wonderful products, which we'll be seeing later on today. Meeples and Dragons that I keep buying stuff from, and please stop doing it because, I need to pay bills. And random other Australians like Sean, who made this incredible player's guide, which tells me how to play Dungeons and Dragons. Dragons, dungeons. But with that, I am going to go first to the wonderful Bree. Bree, please tell us a little about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bree. You can find me on Instagram or on Twitter at Breanna Flame. I am a tabletop streamer, cast member on Second Star to the Right, game master and channel organizer on the Initiative Order here on Twitch. But most importantly, I'm very honored to be an ambassador for Jasper's Game Day. So I'm so proud to be a part of this. Thank you so much for the invitation, Ardent Roleplay for hosting. And today I'm playing Dandelion. I'm going to leave it at that. Dandelion's a character and we'll get into that later.
Kayla, please.
Just making sure I'm unmuted. Hi, I'm Kayla, also known as Time Lord's Wife everywhere on the internet. You can find a lot of my information at timelordswife.com. All the links are there. And today I am going to be playing Vasha Greyheart. Again, going to leave it at that. But, in my daytime, I am an ambassador for Jasper's Game Day, as well as a professional storyteller. And again, thank you also for having me. I'm really excited to play with you all.
Tammie, give us a story.
I, unlike everyone else here, do not actually have my own stream. I instead crash other people's streams. And so I've done some guests on some other people's streams, or I pop up in chats and totally derail things and just generally have pun interactions with a lot of people. So if you're not into things like puns and dad jokes, ban me from your chat.
Randy, bring us a bit of sanity, please.
Oh, I don't know if I can do that, but hello, my name is Randy Alvarenga. I am a professional actor and TTRPG streamer here in the US. I'm on a variety of different streams. I'm on one over on Gen Con TV. You can follow me at Roller Raja, that's ROLLER over on Twitter, and you will find a list of all of the things that I'm in. But one of them that I'm going to plug right now is Harbingers, which is a really cool stream of Savage Worlds, which just premiered last week. So if you want to catch up early, you can go ahead and follow that there. I will be playing Hawk Feather tonight. So, yeah.
And the cast that Randy played with are some absolutely phenomenal human beings that have been unfortunate enough to play dice with me in a couple of times, and I think they bitterly regretted it permanently. So sorry, Randy, but you're now part of the number. And last and absolutely least is Matt. Matt is a wonderful human being, but he's here. Matt, tell us a bit about you.
I love that. Hey, I'm Matt. I produce and create content over at Split the Party, both on YouTube and Twitch. Split the Party TV on Twitch, Split the Party on YouTube. We make a lot of comedy content. We have a few D&D series going around on there and other TTRPGs. And I also am a professional DM. You can hire me for your games at dungeonmasterforhire.com.au. And today I am playing Douglas Expliscale. And I will also leave it at that.
Excellent. Well, unfortunately for me, we're going to start this adventure. And the reason it's unfortunate for me is because some, and I'm going to do this in air quotes, generous soul has already donated for me to do a voice. I'm going to pretend I love you. And this is not going to be easy for me or for you. So if you can work out who I am, that's going to be an amazing thing. So I'm going to start a timer because I really need all the help I can possibly get at this stage.
Just throw out to one of us if you need us to literally do the same voice, but from the next line on.
We extend you the same courtesy. If you don't want to do the voice, just toss it to one of us. We'll play hot potato with it.
I not really don't want to do the voice. It's just why, mercy, why? Is the question. This is
you got this.
I believe in you.
Damn you all! Right, let me get my notes up, the ones I wrote, and then I'm going to throw them away rapidly because what's the point of writing an intro if you have to do it in a voice that you've not practiced before? Okay, so let's just get on with it, shall we? Welcome, brothers and sisters. You have traveled and saved a village. Yes, a village. It's a glorious morning. You adventurers on your second day in the picturesque village in the middle of nowhere. Oh God, my throat. The village of Apple Tree Pond. Yes, Apple Tree. Nestled in the middle of prime farmland with well-tended fields and animal pens. The village, around I don't have the fingers, 100 souls living in harmony, guided by cooperation by the young but resolute Mayor who has a caring but hands-on approach to community building. You're in the recently refurbished Green Dragon Inn tavern rooms. They're still telling stories of your dare doing, wit, and heroics. Saving the 6 halfling brewers who are local from an army of giant frogs. Giving you free food and boarding, a week of recovery. The barman's pretty much. You've met a few of the villagers. I don't know where this is going. A few of the villagers' brothers. During the adventure, the powerful Graf Smith, the young Smiley Healer, the sheriff, her useless deputy, and those 6 unfortunate halflings, and the permanent glass cleaning. Oh God, I had a prop, but I'm gonna give it up for the moment. Barman who disapproves of magic, because no one likes it. No one likes it. Oh God, 2 minutes, 30 seconds. The only other traveler in the inn is a halfling artist who is an acquired taste and has annoyed the barman with his repeated casting of illusions, performative illusions, which are surprisingly detailed but poorly thought through, much like you, Gary. You have woken, and if you remember anything I've just said, the next bit it's going to be confusing to me because that was essential plot pieces. You hear from inside the inn shouting, loud voices. Occasionally your names are enthusiastically yelled during your morning ritual. What do we find you doing? Let's start with you, Randy.
I'm just going to say this now. I am trying real hard to get the plot details out of that, but I'm laughing a lot. No, it's all good. I love it. I genuinely love it. I love that you did a 4-minute monologue in that voice.
Andy, what's your character doing?
He's waking up laughing. No, he's probably it's morning, right? Like, because I had a hard time understanding everything. But I'm hearing our names being yelled in the common room, so I'm gonna go and check that out. Yeah.
Dandelion! Don't look at me! Look at the audience! Tell me what Dandelion was doing when she hears the shouting and her name being called outside!
Well, first of all, Dandelion thinks that any shouting of her name is a good shout. That's a whole story in and of itself. This little fairy, very small little thing, bright pink hair kind of all nestled about, and like colorfully mismatched clothing, is kind of like turning around in place, thinking, I feel like we're wanted somewhere. Should we go in?
Hawk looks at you. His ears sort of twitch as he is a bright white and black tabaxi. As he's like, yeah, I hear that too. Let's check it out.
I love it. We're always on the same wavelength. Hawk, like always.
Normal.
Are you okay?
Oh no!
No, it's not.
Timer.
Wow.
So, we now turn to our ranger. What are you doing, ranger? And why have I become so high-pitched? Why, Flip? Why?
Douglas is going to hear the screaming and come downstairs because he can only assume that this is the work of the demonic, because he is even though he's a ranger, his favorite enemy is from the abyss, due to some unfortunate past mishaps, and he comes downstairs fully armed, just going, all right, where are they? Show me where they are. And he's just got like a little kobold in like a Nigel Thornberry ass get up, just like with a little dagger pointed around at everyone. And then you see from outside, you hear like a squawk and an axe beak. No, is it an axe beak? It's either an axe beak or a crane. I can't remember what I used to have. Is outside, kind of like eyeing through the window, and that's his beast companion, Charla Crane.
Gareth, the barkeep, is looking somewhat disapproving as he's cleaning a glass, and he looks towards Vasha and the cleric and says, "What the hell are you two doing? Why is there noise outside my apartment? How did we find you both?" As the ranger strides down in a tiny, tiny format. Vasha, start with you.
You would hear heavy panting outside the door, and theatrically, camera peering in, you see Vasha, myself, doing push-ups. 99, 100, 101, 102, beads of sweat dripping down my forehead, and then suddenly I hear my name. I immediately jump up, wipe the sweat off my brow, and come running down the stairs. Did somebody call?
I think there's demons that are infesting this whole tavern. Do you feel it too?
I feel something, but I think it's mostly my pulse. I was just doing a really heavy workout in my room.
I just got a feeling in my giblets. I'm not actually sure.
Demonic
I don't
feeling?
have giblets. I'm made of stone.
Yes, demonic giblet feeling. Do you not get that often?
No.
I can say that's
don't.
never been something.
It's a very real thing. I just feel it.
Isn't there one more of us?
Yes, there's another one somewhere.
And to our cleric.
Shaka's just sitting in the corner, plaiting her hair, watching everything going down, looking around, looking at the bird, picking a flower out of the vase on the table, putting it in her hair, keeps plaiting. I don't know what's going on, but I think obviously it's important. Maybe someone needs some help and some looking after. And has everyone had a good night's sleep after what we've just done? I wouldn't want anyone going out unrested or not at their best.
I feel pretty good, yeah.
I'm ready and ready to go. Where's the fight?
I'm excited to see what today holds.
You look like you've... Oops, sorry.
No.
I was going to say, Vasha, you look like you've done at least 500 push-ups.
Thank you.
That record.
Mm. I started a new protein meal. Give it to you someday.
Oh, very good. I'm spindly. My strength is 8.
I don't know what that means.
No idea. Sorry.
If I would give it a ranking...
If you were to rank it out of 20,
100.
You'd give it an 8?
No, out of 100. It's very bad.
We definitely need to get you on a training regimen for sure. We'll talk later.
Yes, a light breeze could push me over.
I remember.
Yeah. Why don't we go to the voice and see what they're talking about?
Yeah.
You hear a large number of people gathered outside, shrieking. One in particular is a gnomish voice that you recognize from the annoying gnome that's living with you at the moment in the inn. He seems to be the center of attention. He's panting, a bit like me, because his voice is probably going to give out in the next 30 seconds as he's about to die. No, the gnome is gesturing wildly at the crowd and talking about some sort of disaster. And I'm going to give an extra 30 seconds because I care about destroying my voice and doing this insane for the rest of the next 2 and a bit hours. The gnome, you can see the mayor is standing there. She is, I have to say, very, very calming in her presence. She's well-dressed, half-orc lady. And sod you now, Gary, I'm turning you off because I need to speak like a normal human being for another couple of minutes before I die. Anyway, to quickly recap, you've been in here for 2 days after fighting off a bunch dealing with an infestation of green giant frogs. There's a bunch of people you already know in the village, and you can see the mayoress that you've dealt with beforehand, who's very thankful. The 6 hipster halflings are standing there. You think they're a family because they all kind of dress similar. Curiously, that halflings, some of them wearing glasses, but the perceptive amongst you have noticed there's no glass in their glasses. Some have dungarees that aren't properly done up, and the one halfling, one of the ones that got swallowed, never seems to wear a shirt. He wears a jacket and never seems to wear a shirt underneath it. So it would probably be attractive on other people, but with the halfling gut busting out of it, it really has the kind of trucker dad feel to it. The mayoress is trying to calm the gnome. The gruff but powerful smith, who isn't particularly bright but likes forging sharp things, is standing there looking somewhat concerned at the gnome, who is literally leaping up and down, shrieking that the end is coming to us all. The mayoress calms him down, and your names are being said repeatedly by the crowd because they saw your heroics. They turn around as you all step out through the doorway. The bin chicken, which is a classic D&D mount for your ranger here, Douglas, is currently rooting through, and I mean that in the non-Australian fashion for us Australian viewers, is digging through some rubbish that's on the floor, rather than what it would mean in Australia, which would be deeply inappropriate at this stage of the game.
Charlotte Crane does what she does.
That's kind of it. There is an audience, about 20 people, and there is a moment where the crowd dramatically parks, almost like they practiced this and routine a number of times. The gnome is on the ground, rolling around in a amateur dramatics fashion, which is basically D-, needs a lot more effort to it, but is invoking imagery of pain, suffering, and terror. And the mayoress is actually very calmly, well-dressed, look at him and say, look, could you just a moment, take a moment. Look, here's these wonderful adventurers again. Could you explain slowly, concisely, and without all the dramatics, Mr. Gnome, what you've just seen? The gnome turns to you. And I'm trying not hard to cry. Second.
What's happened?
No reason. No reason. I'll get to this in a moment.
Chris, you okay?
No.
You okay? Chris, stop yelling. Stop yelling, Chris. It's all right. You just calm down.
You'll lose your voice.
You'll lose your voice.
Okay. You turn to the gnome. I'm just going to get a timer up for no apparent reason. No apparent reason here. Shoot the glass. So, I am a gnome, and I have gone out to see something. See something, McLean. I don't know why I called you that. How strange. I can't get the nasal pitch going, but who cares? So, when I was out doing performative art and looking for a building to do this from, I found that the people here are not interested. So I went out. I went out to the field, to the forest. Yes, apparently this is a die-hard villain, but I really, Alan Rickman isn't coming through me, but stuff it. Let's just pretend this is a game. I'm becoming Jeffrey from something else. No, back to glass. And what the hell is it? Yes. So I was out traveling the fields and I found a quarry, most peculiar quarry. It had a giant statue. And the gnome raises his arms, and in front of you, if you now look at the Guardian card, this works. If you now look at the Guardian card, you'll see a statue rip itself from that and stand to life. The gnome creates an illusion of this Guardian appearing. Clint's going to tell me if I've got this wrong. That's Clint producing the thing for the rest of you people trying to work out if I'm being funny or not, and I'm not. Let me press the button. Try that again. I know what I'm doing. Let's try that now.
Oh.
It should come up.
How's that?
Yeah.
And you see this huge, and the gnome is terrified. This thing is a 40-foot tall. And I'll fix the technical issue in a moment because the gnome's a little bit crap. But this incredible stone statue has wrenched itself up and then has come to life in front of my eyes. Now,
Bloody massive.
Now,
Yeah.
my problem is I speak many languages, but not ancient statue. And it was saying something as it strode towards me in a terrifying manner, over-articulating manner. It's coming to destroy us all. Oh, I'm so scared of everything. It's at that point the mayoress steps and says to you, "This gnome appears to be an idiot." However, the community comes first. And if it's true, the best place to see this is the local farm on the far hill. And she points in another direction. I have no idea where this accent has gone. I apologize, whoever donated to this. I'm lost. I know what Alan Rickman sounds like. Snape, Harry Potter, but I'm becoming Winston Churchill rapidly. Peace in our time. Moving swiftly on from Nixon. However, if you brave adventurers could go to the farm and see if this is a real threat or not, it would stop the gnomes panicking because, as you can see, it's terrible. Ha, 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 I have a machine gun. No, didn't work for me. Failed miserably. So, moving swiftly on. If you could do that, I will come up with a reward, either a financial one or something of use to you wonderful people. What do you say, adventurers?
I say I like money, so that works for me.
And I like adventure, so sounds like I'm in.
I did realize. Yeah, that works too, I guess, yes.
I have a question. He's not coming along with us, right? Pointing at the gnome.
No, God, no. He appears to be better here. Oh, thank God for that.
He seems to be done.
Sorry. She shakes her head. Overly dramatic for no apparent reason. How strange. Yes, there is a nearby farmstead. The farmer there, lovely chap, a little bit eccentric, and someone shouts, "He's a nutter!" From the background. He's possibly a wizard, and people are just like, "Shut up."
No, it's probably just one of my cousins, says the stone, Genasi.
Yeah. And they go, ooh. And there's a kind of hush bit as they look at you flexing accidentally.
Oh.
I like that. I was like, yeah. And the quiet, apart from the Smith, who is giving you a cool, appraised nod at this point in time. Look, money, we'll get something together, but if this is a real, actual, imminent threat coming towards the village.
Oh yes,
You need help.
I
Chris.
love.
Oh yes.
You know what
Oh,
really?
yes.
Yes, you know what really reminds me of fun times. I love seeing palm fronds everywhere. You know,
Oh
when we
my
go on
God,
event, you go to an
Like,
archaeological
yes.
dig.
Like,
You say yes,
Yes.
yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Totally.
Yes, Queen Slay.
I hate you all.
Wait,
I hate you all. So,
why? But like, why though?
look,
You really should get it out, girl.
you, you go, girls. You go and save us from this tragedy, because
Mhm.
you know what it means to be something. Let's go. Go to the farm. Have fun. Yeah.
That was like so many words. I understood maybe 5, but I'm in for
Like,
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, like let's go. Let's
This
just
sounds
go to the
fun.
farm. Yeah.
So Shaka will make everyone stand in a line. I just want to make sure that everyone's shoelaces are all done up and everything is tied on properly before we go. I don't want any accidents. I don't want any tripping on the way. I have some rations packed for the party. That's all good.
Yes,
Oh,
Yes. my shoelaces are indeed tied, hun. Click,
Oh.
click.
I may have lost my shoes like a week ago.
Well, we'll have to find. Oh, but you fly.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't need them.
It should be
Yeah.
totally fine.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll find out what's going on, and it'll be good. Like, yeah.
Also, Shaka, your rations are like the best. Like
The best.
The best.
Thank you.
So good.
It's a recipe I brought from home, back over the way.
I can't wait to eat more, hun.
Snap, snap.
Snap, snap. Neck thing.
Let's go take a walk, girls.
As
Heading down the
as-
beach
as
with
you all
McCrane.
step it through, is there anything you'd like to do before I've suddenly become I don't know what? You go, girl. That's it. I'm back. I'm back. No, I'm not.
Can I just say, Chris, that you're kind of going between Valley and Woody Allen?
Oh,
Valley Woody Allen.
Yeah.
I was picturing that TikTok filter where it's wavering a little bit. It's still in an accent. Yeah.
Goldfish.
But I would say like a solid like 10 out of 10 for effort. So
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
you're wonderful. We applaud you. We stand.
All right.
So like totals, what do you want to do? You've got a map of the village, and I don't know where this is gone, but if you want to go somewhere, you go. What do you want to do before you go off and do the adventure?
I want to jump
Oh my
on
God.
McCrane.
We should go shopping.
Oh
Yes,
my God!
absolutely.
Yes.
Oh my God.
We should go. Let's get us some bonnets.
And shoes.
I love
I
either or.
definitely want shoes.
We should get
Yeah.
some shoes.
I love shoes.
Oh my God.
What kind is your favorite shoe, though?
Really
Of
big
course.
heels.
Big heels.
Yeah.
I like those Doc Marten types with the big soles. I want to feel tall because
Oh,
I'm about
crush me.
4
Wait, sorry.
foot. Sorry.
What? Nothing.
Oh.
I had no idea what you were saying.
Oh, sorry.
So
I've got shoes on the mind.
Yeah.
the you're I don't know how to announce this. You want to go to the local star?
Like for bucks?
Yeah.
But like,
Sure.
how much money do we have? Like, do we
you-
have enough to get stuff?
I
Like,
think I've got 1 gold.
yeah, like I've spent most of mine.
Yes.
For sure.
I'll just use Daddy's credit card.
Ah,
I love using credits.
Well, you get up to Neela.
No limits.
and Neela's there. She's at the star. She is a large half troll. She's lovely. Everyone loves Neela. And she's standing there. The 6 items she's got in her star. I don't know what that's gone. I've become Irish. It's terrifying. Top of the morning, she says to you, something, Ballygirl. What can I get you, wonderful folk?
Okay, we want like 4 bonnets and like 8 pairs of shoes, but each.
Yeah.
I've got sacks. 6 of them.
Whoa. No one's propositioning here. We want shoes.
I've got boxes.
Oh. He's got boxes.
Boxes of what?
Yeah. What's
I
in the
hope
box?
shoes.
Shoes? 2 boxes?
Shoes.
Only one way to find out.
We joined you on that one, Chris.
Thank you all. I've no idea what that went. Yeah, the large glowering trolless is like, I've got. Well, we don't have. Oh,
Oh no.
Oh,
All right.
Oh, all right. Well,
this.
Oh,
No, that's
all right
British.
then.
That's a British accent.
good eye, mate. All right.
Oh no.
Okay,
I'm sorry, chat.
I'm-
Yeah.
More Aussie.
I do not know what you are looking for. We do not have any bonnets.
I don't know what's going on with this. I'm just looking for some shoes, okay?
I do not have bonnets. What do you have
I was
bonnets? We
looking
have
for
a
some
box. I have
shoes,
sacks.
but-
What shoes? You fancy people, you fancy money. I do not take credit cards here. I take copper pieces. Proper copper you can chew.
Oh, did he just buy that?
I think you broke it.
No, very southern.
I think you broke a tooth on that one, yeah.
So
well,
get out! I will get out of my star.
Oh.
Get out of my village and
What?
save us from the oncoming adventure which Chris has not yet got to. I mean, he hasn't even told you the name of the farm he spent hours researching and looking for. So get out there and save us all.
Yeah, he's such a rude owner. I guess we gotta go do something else, I guess. Oh.
Leave that
Right,
I mean, if he
people.
wants us to go to the farm,
I mean-
well, we might want to check it out, right?
Yeah, I guess we could find some boots there. I mean, I still haven't filled
Yeah,
my
but
shoes
knife.
quota.
Oh, a knife.
A knife.
Sir, I
Yeah,
believe that is a
knife.
spoon.
a knife? I have 2
Have we had brekkie
Now
yet?
that's a knife. That's a knife.
knife.
Right. Well,
Are you leaving the village finally, or is there anything else pointless you would like to do to make this more painful for me? But again, please.
Is that a challenge?
We can make it more difficult if you like. Yeah.
You have a map. You can destroy the entire place if you want to, but mon Dieu, zut alors!
I'm going to look at the map and it's going to say there's a farm somewhere, I think.
The farm is not on the map.
No.
would
Would
you-
I
why
put a
would we
farm
have a
in the
map
middle of a
of
village?
a place with no farm?
Yeah.
I can.
I thought there would be a farm on this map. I'm lost now.
You have to go north. I would say north again. It is on the map.
No.
North.
Nah.
Yeah. I get the feeling I was supposed to go north.
West and south.
Now, I'm just going to apologise that the only American accent I know is kind of a Forrest Gump hybrid.
Oh, yeah. Look, go for it. Go for it.
Do it.
Please.
Well, now, I think that the shop owner is telling us to just go north here. I don't think that there's any extra information that they can give us except for that crazy gnome dude. So it's kind of like confusing until we go to the scene of where it happened and further investigate.
Yeah, nothing to
I
read
think
into
you're
there, I
right.
guess.
I think you're right. Right. How, can you just say right? Like I need to know.
Right.
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 Oh, yeah. So turn your eyes into an OI. Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Right. And then if you're saying things like water, skip the T and make it a D. Water.
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 All right.
Water.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Water. There you go.
Yeah.
There's your phrase.
That's the
That's
entire
just a
2
me.
sentences I'm going to be saying.
Yeah. All right.
Now
Water.
on.
All right. Water.
Everyone has that like phrase you get into the accent with. Yours just seems to be all right. Water.
Right.
When we were in uni, we used to teach the international students to speak Australian by sticking the tip of their tongue to the roof of their mouth and saying "schooner and you."
Razor blades.
So we could teach them to ask for a beer in Australian.
say if you say in an American accent, if you say "rise up, lights," it sounds like razor blades.
In a desperate attempt to get the adventure back on track, I'm forcing you on the Chris train. Choo-choo! Out of the
Choo-choo! Yeah!
Right. All right. Well, it looks like we're heading to the farm, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I figure we're already on our way, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to do anything D&D like? You have a ranger, for example.
Oh, yeah, I have skills. Hold on. I would like to do a perception check.
Would you like some guidance there?
I want to see if there's anyone like following us, or I could always use another set of eyes because Charlotte Crane's not very good at looking around. She's not very well trained. But yeah, I'll accept any kind of help.
Well, now here it only lasts for a little bit, so it means I'm going to have to frequently make contact with you.
Bloody hell.
I can give you the guidance as we go.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I felt like I had a Ray Romano in my throat for a while there. But yeah, no, I'll do one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, that's all right. I forgot that I forgot that I'm a kobold and have disadvantage on perception checks in sunlight. So as I go to do that, can I as an archaeologist have prepared for this and flick down some homemade spectacles made of like let's say the end of bottles of beer, and they're like green tinted. So he's got like big glasses effectively that act as
sunglasses.
Ye old sunglasses as they were, made out of broken glass. And one's got like a little crack through it. Oop.
In a desperate attempt to actually have some sort of adventure rather than me become hoarse, the kobold drops down his glasses. You're used to this level of shenanigans, as he's partially blind from the bright. As I said, it was a beautiful sunny day. Beautiful sunny day. So he flips down the beer bottles. There is a slight problem that Dandelion, you notice that the light is catching through the beer bottles and occasionally sets fire to bits of local shrubbery and bushland, but probably nothing to worry about.
I'm completely unfazed by this. It's like normal procedure for me to light casual fires by accident.
Yeah, small burning in the background, not a problem. Matt, what did you roll?
Even with the disadvantage, it was the same roll, but it was a 17.
Oh, okay. This is beautifully pleasant scenery. You've apart from the kerfuffle with the frogs, you're seeing much. You can see the hill they're talking about, and you've got a fairly good sense of this quarry that the gnome, in whatever voice it was going through at this point in time, was pointing out. You have a sense of where it is by just the landscape itself. But again, you're looking around. Nature here seems to be almost Disney-esque. Birds are tweeting. There's a sense of summer. There's annoying cicadas, loud bugs that make noises around in Australia, which basically deafen people. A bit like locusts, but prettier. But other than that, you can see the farm. The farm itself is curiously placed on the hill. The reason I say curiously placed, Apple Tree Pond itself is actually on a hill. So this dips down and goes to another one. Not really seen many farms that are on hills because that's kind of daft from a technical point of view. Why would you want to take things up a hill and there seems to be trees around it? So it's a little bit odd from your senses, but you can see clearly where it is, and your ranger skills lead them.
So it seems to be in this animated bushland wonderland that we seem to be traveling through. The haunting memory of that dwarf has absolutely given me certainty that we are on the right path. I know there's so much nonsense going on, and it's very overwhelming for, well, very least my senses. But I'm confident that this could be it.
All right.
Yes.
Can I do a arcane check? I know we were told that this might be the home of a wizard.
Sure.
So I want to see.
Okay. No. So yeah, please do. So Hawk takes a moment to look around the land.
I have a 17.
17. So, just as you're leaving the village, one thing that the cleric had mentioned to you, there was this daft old statue that was standing around, and that is the only sign of wizardry that you can see. There is a statue of what appears to be a fairly nondescript wizard pointing magnanimously out, and there's a title, but you've seen very little magic. As I said, the barman, or you may have heard or misheard, but the barman doesn't like magic and has been muttering about magic repeatedly. So you get a sense that this really isn't a magical community, and magic seems to be one of those things where it keeps the village folk a little bit worried. But you did see a statue of a mage pointing magnanimously over the pond. There was some inscription in moss. No one seems to care about it. But to Hawk's keen eye, nothing clearly magical.
The rest of us see the statue that was just described.
So that was an illusion that was created.
Oh,
by
illusion,
the
okay.
Just to show you what it looked like, to show her how terrifying it was. Because it was only 5 foot by 5 foot, and my voice broke several times. I'm now much older and apparently in adulthood now. The gnome just basically created an illusion of this statue that was standing up and breaking free from the rock face. So this statue, the locals knew it had been there for at least a century or two. It's been there before memory existed in this place. It's always been a local viewpoint. So a statue breaking foot, it's a huge 40-foot statue striding across land. The gnome was suggesting that it's coming to destroy the town. The mayor thought, well, that's kind of stretching a point for a little bit, but after the plague of giant frogs, it's probably worthwhile sending the adventurers to check out. And the farm you're going to visit, just to completely recap the entire plot line, is to go and see, because that's another high point. The hill looks down on where that quarry was.
Thank you. That's actually very useful.
Recap. Yes. I've got notes. Literally, I've got 16 pages of notes. I've ignored most of them so far.
So while the group is sort of like approaching the end part, Shaka's like talking out loud to herself, no, Khan, quarry, not quarry, quarry. And yes, I get it. There's a whole heap of magical things happening to this town that doesn't like magic. I mean, the frogs and now the statue. It seems like someone's like really pranking this town. I get it. It's okay.
To your ranger's trained eye, it is curious, and Dandelion the same thing too. Farms on hills with wooded land around themselves, it's a little bit odd. Farmers like flat areas and trees dividing that. They don't usually have it at the top of the hill. Can I get everybody to make a perception or survival check? Your choice.
Courtesy of Promethean, I've been given advantage on my next roll.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you.
You said survival or
perception, please.
Oh, same roll. 19.
Okay.
6.
Anyone lower than a 6? Anyone better than a 15? Stick your hand up if you've got better 15. Fantastic. Okay, so Dandelion, the first thing you notice is that the flowers themselves here have fade-like quality. So you've seen similar ones before. They're not natural to this area, and they have that kind of shimmer when you go past. The cowbells actually ring slightly, so there's a fayish quality to the land here. Douglas, when you're looking at the field, there are no obvious pathways that have been made by horses or cattle. There are really, really wide trails that snails, slugs of a massive size have traversed. I mean, massive size. Ones you could use as mounts, as a good example. Yeah, but there is no, there's no kind of cattle. There's no horse prints from that one. And the wonderful cleric, the last piece that you pick out from here is that you see that there is a lot of rabbit poo. I mean, a lot of it, like lots and lots. I mean, obscene amount of rabbit poo.
Okay, so clearly there's big things being dragged around here.
Mr. Ranger, there seems to be a lot of rabbit poo as well.
Yes. He's he's like feeling around inside it already. Is it like giant rabbit poo or is it like regular sized? I'm sorry for the immediate discussion and dissection of this.
I'm just going to drink some urine. Hold on a second.
Oh no. Randy nearly spit on it.
Oh.
Oh, what have we got? Oh, goody.
Oh, wow. Wow. I've become Owen, Clive Owen. No, the other Owen. No. So the droppings are normal, but anyone can make a nature check right now to see if they see what's different in it, because this is rabbit poop, but a bit strange.
Oh, natural 20.
Oh.
11. Not my strong suit.
You just stop doing things now at this stage. Just keep them away. Anyone with the natural 20, you work out this is magic rabbit poo. This isn't real rabbits. This is something very different. Magic rabbit poo.
Okay, so it seems to be like, and I've got my hands like in it. It seems to have magical origin. Yep, it's turning my hands into liquid as it's in here. I better pull that out. Okay, it's normal again. It's all good. Claws are in order.
Oh, wow. We're just like diving right in, aren't we?
Okay.
No, we're not all diving into that. No.
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Definitely
anyone want
not.
to feel? No? Okay.
Did you touch that without gloves?
Yes, it's how you explore properly. Do you not get in there like your archaeological digs and you got to dissect the things? No.
Even being made of stone, I've never wanted to do that.
Oh.
No,
Wow.
I've expressed my disapproval. You should always be wearing gloves and you should stop licking rocks. I know you do that to see what type of rocks they are, but it's really not sanitary.
Well, sometimes the moss tells a story.
Yeah, but you've licked me at least 5 times.
Oh, Douglas, do you want to?
So who's rolling that?
Oh, dear.
Our cleric.
Oh.
Oh, so it's a D100, isn't it?
Yeah, it's okay, so
79.
I hand Chaka the magic poop, and maybe that's how it like does a thing.
I haven't had time to put gloves on.
It's fine. I've already checked it out. Your hands will only turn to liquid for about a quarter of a second, and then they rematerialize.
No.
I hand her the poop.
With a magical burst, beautiful, beautiful butterflies escape from the cleric and surround you in a 5-foot mass. None of you standing near the cleric can see the cleric. She's a butterfly farm.
See, what was that so bad? Look, sometimes investigating dung.
I'm 100% gonna kick one.
A butterfly?
No, the little rabbit
poops.
Oh,
not the butterfly. But like, I mean, like if I want to see more butterflies come out. That's how my brain works. Sorry.
We helped this town somehow.
We'll find out.
They asked us to investigate. This is investigating.
Yeah, you got to get your hands dirty.
I love it. Speaking of dirty hands, Douglas, would you do something for me for science?
Always.
I've taken some of the flowers that I've detected are like of Fey origin and have like that shimmer to them. I've just plucked them and I have them like immediately in front of his face. Eat these.
Oh, good. I was actually going to say, how many did you want me to eat?
See, we're same wavelength. Always.
Same wavelength. Okay.
Yeah.
In my expert opinion, yum, yum, yum.
Oh, yeah, there's something magical about them, by the way.
Constitution saving throw for eating cowbells.
I figured this would be some kind of trickery. It's only ever the cause of natural fucking 20. I used a different dice this time. I'm going to change dice, see if it happens again.
Wow. Who knew that would happen? So, as you chew the cowbells, I don't know what this spice is, and I'm coming for you, Maverick. Yeah! You lift for 2 seconds and then plop back to the ground.
The flower was magic. It seems to give the power of flight depending on how many you eat. So here, they're yours. You found them. Eat as many as you need. Get a quick getaway over a cliff.
Oh, she says currently flying. I'm okay, thank you though.
Oh, I see you've already been eating them. Good.
Yeah.
We might want
Yeah,
to
I've
go
always
up to
wanted to
that
fly
house.
with you.
Should probably go up to the hill.
Oh, Hawk, you're right. We should be doing that, right?
I mean,
Yay!
Can we fly to the house? Can we all eat flowers and then fly to the house?
absolutely,
Ah.
absolutely.
I will pick so many flowers for
Can we
all
eat
of
them?
you.
So the rest of you want to eat the flowers as well.
You made him
Yeah,
fly.
scientifically proven.
Okay.
The cleric is not. The cleric is just standing there in this swarm of butterflies yelling out, "Is it the rabbit poop that made the flowers make people fly?"
I never really thought about it.
Unfortunately, you can't see, or you can hear the voice of the cleric because she's surrounded by a beautiful, beautiful ball of butterflies that are fluttering around her. And again, a graceful but incredibly annoying fashion, landing on everything around her, literally obscuring her. So you can hear her voice coming out. But if anyone else would like to eat the flowers, please make a Constitution saving throw. Please.
Do I just get to eat a bunch now, and do I have to make another one?
No, you're fine.
Oh, hell yeah.
If there's a variety
20,
of colors,
but dirty
I've
20.
put together
20.
specific color palettes
Okay.
for each of them.
Okay.
No.
Hawk, you have the same thing. You raise. It's that kind of Charlie in the Chocolate Factory moment where you buoyantly float up and then slowly subside to the ground. It's a moment of levitation. As the warrior chews through some flowers, the Earth Genasi basically starts to belch and fart and belch and fart. For the next minute, all she's making is heavy flatulent sounds as the effect of the magic isn't giving her the lift that the ones that are successful for. It's basically propelling it out of her body, out of any orifice, to sneezing, belching, and farting. It's very fortunate that she probably did a movement earlier on in the day. Otherwise, you'd have Earth Genasi scat as well,
Oh no!
littering her.
Oh,
The smell.
It's like hiccups. I can't get rid of them. They won't go away. Oh gosh.
That smell.
that-
That smell. How's your gut intestine health?
I shouldn't have ate all those. Oh gosh.
Oh, that sounds.
Oh,
that
gosh.
sound.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
high protein
Disadvantage yourself.
diets.
Oh, it's not agreeing with them.
No.
On the positive side, it does disperse the butterflies, as several of them had died, and they shift off into the wind along with this toxic smell. If
Can I
you want
put the
really a
poop down
disadvantage
now?
moving through, you're literally making these sounds for the next minute and a half.
Sorry.
I'm gonna move towards the house because maybe the house owner knows what to do.
Maybe they can help us with our predicament of flower belching.
Hello.
Wait, what? I'm just checking in chat. Clint, was that what?
Oh, so
Yeah, that was before the surge.
Oh dear
Yeah.
God!
that was before Kermit. You did.
Good luck.
Yeah.
See that? I hate you all. Okay, I'm just going to do this bit, and then I will go into the pain that I've no idea quite how to do this one because I don't watch. If it had been frozen, I'd be.
So it
used to
says any of them, so you're not restricted to one.
that. Shut up, Matt. Now So, you make your way up towards this farm before I have to break into another thing. Don't do that, Clint. I can see you. You break into oh God, no. You walk towards this farm. These trees have been surround the farm itself. It's the top of the hill. There is no gate. If you go to your Albert map, just for the players, you will see me clicking as I have to fight my way through the various other screens that have nothing to do with D&D, but the map itself. So you get a clear layout because this is the top of the hill. You crest the top of the hill. There is no gates in this farm that are blocking it, which again, it would be the way that would normally come through. And you are coming on the path on the east map. So you can see on there. You can see standing by the well is a large turtle. He is dressed in what appears to be weather clothes, standing next to it, and he's making strange clucking sounds. Now,
They're clucking?
Clucking. He's clicking at something in a way to the animals.
Oh, yes.
Just on the map for everybody else, as there is a singular farm hut, but to the north there is what appears to be a pen, which back to our ranger, you can see those kind of weird slime trails going towards. The field to the south there has an array of different vegetables growing into it. And weirdly, those shapes you can see are bunny rabbits with bloody great horns sticking out their heads.
Oh.
That seem to be scampering around. They are the size of a medium-sized dog.
Oh, it's a big rabbit.
So these are damn big rabbits with horns in them. They don't look magical, but you see the turtle clicking at them.
Oh.
However, the Jamaican accent I was going to attempt for the turtle has now become a Disney princess. So this is going to be confusing to everyone.
Just let it go, Chris. Let it go.
Let it go. The large turtle turns to you and smiles and says, "Blood and fire! Adventurers, what are you doing here, Mon?"
So, these your rabbits?
These aren't rabbits. These are baby unicorns.
They look like you had a rabbit with a horn taped on it.
I kind of agree with Douglas here.
Look, I've been around a lot of animals, never seen a horny rabbit. But actually, hold on. I've never seen a horn on a rabbit before. Scratch what I said.
Mm-hmm. Una bunnies. They're so cute.
Yes.
Can I pet him? I look at the turtle.
No, Mon! No, Mon! You can't! I'm trying to click them. There is a shaking of the ground. I don't know what that was. There is a shaking of the ground. And they've all escaped from my house. And they're running around.
Did you like...
Naughty little things are eating everything. Everything. And that's not good for nature. They have a special diet.
Do you like care for these things? Sorry.
No. These... I am a grower of such things. I am the first farmer of baby unicorns in this part of the realms. They'll be worth a fortune to all the entitled individuals in Waterdeep. Mon. Blood and fire.
So they've escaped and you want them back in this pen?
It's clearly a whole new world. No, not the pen. The pen's for my other wonderful animals.
Oh.
Don't scare them.
You have more?
I have more. It's at this point I would like you all to make a perception check for me, please. Thanks.
Natural 20.
Oh!
16.
What check was it? Sorry.
Perception.
Oh, goody.
Oh God, I forgot.
No.
That's 3 in a row.
Yes.
You have to do a turkey dance. You have to do a turkey dance now. 3 in a row. Turkey dance.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother! I don't think that's ever happened to me. That's wild.
We have two natural 20s. Breanna, did you get a natural 1 to balance this out?
Close, an 8.
No. Delera.
14.
Okay. You notice, Talera, the cleric noticed the bunnies. So pretty, so sweet, so songful. There's a couple in the fields chewing on stuff that probably shouldn't do. Naughty bunnies.
I need to stop them from doing that. That's not good for their tummies.
Ooh, a question. With stop, do you mean like stop or like stop?
Yes, how much do you want them to sleep with the fishes?
No, Mon.
He has fishes?
That would be terrible.
Right.
I just want you to collect my bunnies and help me get them back in.
Oh,
However,
you called them bunnies, so they're not unicorns.
They're baby bunnies. They become unicorns later on.
I
Is that how unicorns work?
I'm a farmer. I know such things.
When a unicorn and a bunny love each other very much.
Yes.
I have a lot of questions about this. That might be better for later, though.
Yeah. I don't think I'm old enough for this conversation.
Oh, little hawk.
Could I like roll an insight check? Because he's like fumbling on his words if the bunnies are in fact actually real bunnies or if they're owned by him.
Please do. Your perception checks do give you a couple of other things.
Okay.
Heading from the south, you can see there's a gentle trembling in the trees. It's almost like there's something coming your way.
I don't know how much I trust this guy more than the trees are concerning me. I nearly got the reverse. It nearly was a nat 1, but instead it is a 12.
It's probably the dreadlocks and the curious accent he has, but you can't get a sense of him.
I think he's good. I trust you wholeheartedly, my good man.
Can I try? I want to try.
You can, Hawk. I don't know if this voice is gone either.
That's a dirty 20.
Can't spot no tape on those bunny horns. I believe him.
Oh, no. He appears to be what we colloquially call a bit of an idiot.
Got it.
It's Hawk. You get a strong sense that there is something strange about the hat he has on too. It seems to be slightly misadjusted.
Huh. So Hawk sort of is looking at him as he's talking and being very weird, and he goes, "That's a mighty fine hat you have there."
Aye, it is,
Yeah.
Mon.
It is a nice bonnet, isn't it?
Where
Really?
did you get that? Where'd you get it?
When I was a lad.
Wait, I like look over like I'm really admiring it, and then I just kind of slide it, try to get it back to the right place.
It's that bit. It's that bit where his hair slips backwards and forwards, and the cap he's got. It appears that the what appeared to be kind of seaweedy dreadwigs are actually tied into the cap, and it slips a little bit. He doesn't seem to notice.
Oh. I go back to the group. There's something very odd about this one. I know they said that in town, but like, I really think it's true.
I mean, look at us though, because we're a bunch of weirdos as well. Like,
Hey, don't be rude.
sorry. Okay, me and Charlotte Crane are very weird, and you guys are fairly normal. All right, I've said it.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah.
Okay, yep. But you also fly, so you didn't need to eat the flowers. I call that pretty strange. Unabated flight by without the comes to bloody hell, my word.
It's normal where she comes from. How dare you?
Fair enough. I only dream of wings.
Thank you, Vash.
Very well.
All right.
I do
Anyway,
have
that
a
guy's
question
weird.
though for the turtle. How do you normally get them into the pen?
I'm on. Normally, I lyrically sing to get them in the pen.
Please tell me you sing "Kiss a Boy" from Little Mermaid.
Or I play my band flute.
Get in the pen. Get in the pen.
Yeah. It's like they need some love. A lot of love. And not that kind of love, Visha. No, I see your face. No. Look, Mons, if you can help me, the baby unicorns, they were fully righteously in my ass. And my
In your where?
escaped.
You're where?
Yeah, his house. I think he was trying to say house.
Oh, yes.
I don't need to know where those hones go.
Yeah. Aye, blood and fire. I don't know why I thought.
Yeah, there
this
would be a
better.
bit of that if it was where you said.
Yeah. So righteous, Mon. So, if you can, I don't know. The bunnies seem scared. I mean, baby unicorns, mon. Baby unicorns.
I have an additional question. So, do you think maybe you're scaring them?
No, they love my voice.
They're pretty far away.
Yes.
The ground shook, mon. And then the trees, they bend. And then
I'd love to know the song that you sing. Can you sing it for us real quick? I'd love to hear it.
Oh, I
Song time.
I love
sit down
a
on the
good-
ground.
Oh no.
What timing?
What timing? Get in the pen.
Do you
Get
need,
in the
like,
pen.
As we wander through the field, I sing to the bunnies, because I don't know what this is. I'm going show tune.
Thank you, Emily, for that.
I hate you so much.
She's getting you back for them having to do a musical episode on their stream.
Oh,
Oh.
that's funny.
The bunnies, they need to come a running. Let it go. Let it go. The DMCA is gonna kick in, so I have to stop right there. Come home to me, bunnies. Bunnies, bunnies. What I meant to say is, baby unicorn. Baby, baby, baby. And with that,
These bunnies are not safe.
the bunnies aren't safe. They scatter even further as the turtle stands on the well and then pulls out his panpipes and plays a DMCA blocked version of Titanic.
Bravo.
Yes.
You're fantastic. That was amazing.
I'm
But-
soothed.
But I believe my friends here were correct. I think your singing is scaring them away.
Yes. I think that could be the issue that you've got.
Why?
Well, let's just say don't quit your day job to be kind about it.
I'm a farmer, Mom.
Oh, maybe you should quit that day
days
job.
Yes.
are
You can't do both well.
Right.
Oh, either
You
of them.
gotta pick one, or
Yeah.
like you'll just be mediocre at both.
Practice like one thing for 10,000 hours, not a bunch of them, because you'll be really good at one of them by the end of it. And it'll either be singing or the other thing.
You could lose your voice. You wouldn't want to lose your voice.
Oh
You have
no,
such a
why
beautiful
would
voice.
I lose my voice? It's
Because you're
such a
singing so much.
clear hill. What the hell is that? He says, pointing to the place the Visher and the
Oh, yes.
Ranger saw.
The trees
You
that
can
have been
see
rumbling.
A grey mound coming towards you slowly but steadily.
Jeffrey, is that you? I think that's my cousin.
Go have a look then.
Yeah,
They attack
if
it.
it's your cousin, that
Oh.
My goodness, you see a giant statue slowly but steadily trudging its way this way. Oh, it's huge, it's terrifying.
Oh, no, that's not my cousin.
It's got stuff flying around it.
And your family's massive.
The farmer says, Mom, this isn't what I signed up for. Quickly save my unicorns. Hark the herald unicorns sing. Get them to my flail snails for you to bring. Help me get the unicorn.
Okay, cool.
I think he wants us to sing.
I was just waiting for him to finish his
Oh.
bars before I did anything.
Yeah.
I'm proposing that we rescue the unicorns not only from this stone creature that's making the trees trembling, but also from the farmers singing.
Agreed.
How long do we have before this thing gets to us?
It looks as a rough estimate 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, could I get a more accurate reading of that? Because if it is closer to the 10-minute side, could I ritual cast Speak with Animals?
Make an intelligence check for
Okay.
me.
Like flight intelligence? Or
Intelligence plus survival.
9? No, 10.
10. You'll probably be fine. What could go wrong?
Okay, so look, he is still being weird, but I can talk to these rabbits. I've totally forgotten and I could do it. Give me 10 minutes. Yeah, and then I can literally ask them, do they want to be put in a pen? If not, we have a lot of bunny friends coming with us.
Free the bunnies.
Yeah, free the bunnies. Liberate them.
Would anybody else like to do anything while the ranger does his stuff? Anything at all to progress?
I'm dropping
the
a sick
pen?
beat with the turtle.
Dogs and cats and dogs and cats and dogs and cats.
Who let the bunnies out?
Ooh, him.
So I think we need to cause a diversion probably because it looks like 10 minutes, but we're not sure, right?
Oh,
That is correct.
Yeah.
Right. So I start heading out over there towards where this giant statue is coming from. And I'm going to cast Mage Hand when I am in 30 feet of it, so I can tap it on the shoulder from the behind.
This statue is huge. It is 40 foot in height.
Oh, it's
And-
probably not going to do it.
Yeah, it's probably not going to notice.
Well, what about a Mage Hand that's grabbed a stick and just flown around and gone behind it?
Okay,
You want the stick? You want the stick?
you
I'm trying.
Too slow, Emily. I'm not paying attention, chap. So Hawk, you pick up sick. This is a huge statue of a warrior figure. It has a sword that is roughly about 20 to the animals that are flying off it are birds that were nested on there, and you can see bits of detritus just dropping it as this thing is. It's not striding; it's effectively shuffling. So it's slowly putting one foot in front of the other. Your ranger may have time to do this as it comes towards you. It's just for it's roughly about 400 foot away from you. The trees and the hill you're on, it's at head height. So when it makes its way up, it has very large feet, but it's kind of that kind of shuffling step as it goes through. So it's not striding in any fashion. The figure seems to be reasonably well moving, apart from this strange shuffling gait it's thing. And from where you can see Hawk, you can see that it lower jaw is moving repeatedly. It is saying something, but it's got a helm that comes down to its nose and wraps around, so you can lower jaw moving, but you can't hear anything from this distance. Again, to just quickly frame, the turtle is standing on the well. He has actually been whistling and stickling. He doesn't seem to be doing particularly well at bringing back these small, with these kind of dog-sized things. As you've seen in some of those, the horns haven't been stuck on. They're actually part of the creature. But he's calling them baby unicorns or bunnies. You're pretty sure these are neither. These are an actual creature that has existence, because the way they're moving around, but they do seem to have the sense of that. Also get the sense from those two great perception checks on, the animals have a level of intelligence because they're looking and you get a sense that they are concerned because they've scattered out here, but they're taking more sense of you. And Dandelion especially, they seem to be looking at the cleric who's been sitting there quietly and being very things. The animals are been slowly moving towards it. The singing isn't helping, not helping. It's 2 bits that you get that perception. So sound from there. So just to set the scene, these things seem to be repelled from loud noises in the first place, and the turtle that is definitely to do it. His weird dreadlock hat seems to move when he moves around. So clearly he's completely bored underneath this, but this thing is moving around.
Okay, so Shaka is going to lean into Hawk and go, use your mage hand to like throw his hat away and distract him. Make him go after his hat.
All right. I turn back around and I look at the turtle and I go, hey, what's that over there? And then like on the other side of him, cast mage hand to pull up the hat.
And slide of hand, please, just to see how that goes. And if you want to put some tokens on the map just to see where you are, folks, feel free to do that.
Oh, yes.
Right.
Just in case, no particular reason.
That's a 17 sleight of hand.
Oh, 17. Okay.
Do I need a separate one for Charlotte Crane?
Yeah, just put that on there because it'd be useful.
All right.
Just
it'll be the elk-looking thing.
The turtle turns and it spins, and as it does, where do you want to send it? When do you want to send the hat, Randy? Where do you want that?
I want it to go into the little farm field over here to the south.
Okay. As if because there's no breeze here, it's almost like a gust of wind just kind of picks it up and then kind of carries it and then throws it into the field. The nearest creature runs away from the hat, runs into the field, and you see the hat, and the turtle looks at it and says, and then pulls up his shirt and puts it over his head, which probably is not a good thing because you need to see as he stumbles away from the well towards the gate.
At least he's not singing.
No.
Yeah, but standing on the well is dangerous.
Yeah.
I try to help him down. I'm like, oh, the wind.
Yeah.
That wind.
Yes. Mon. Yeah.
Oh, he still talks like that.
The blood. Fire. Mon. And he kind of totters towards the field. He's got the shirt over his head and he's trying to look out of there and cover his baldness as he goes through. Looks like a normal turtle to you folks. I've never seen them with hair beforehand, so why one's got a hat, who knows? But he totters towards the fields. But you see the weird unicorn-esque bunnies scatter away from him. Other ones are all kind of sitting there quite happily chewing on the magical foliage that lit this farm. However, you can see this figure is getting closer, and as the ranger continues to finish his incantation and completes it, it's now at the bottom of the hill. You can see this thing, and it's not a heavy kind of Jurassic Park slamming sound. So this kind of this more weird shuffling sound. So, but it's almost like plowing ground around it. So it's not lifting its knees in a particular high fashion, but it seems to be almost plowing its way through as if kind of doing that kind of shuffling walk. You occasionally see the more senior members of society do. So kind of shuffling forwards,
dragging the
not
feet,
lifting it through, but it seems to be making a direct beeline to this area. Your spell finishes, Douglas. What would the rest of you like to do?
So if the statue starts getting really close, Shaka will cast something over some members of the party, but she'll wait until it's potentially close to a combat to do it to get the maximum effect.
So, just to give you a sense of the map, it's just in the bottom left. This thing is huge. Yeah, so it's coming up from that direction just to get a sense of where it's
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, I love the name.
Yeah, descriptive thing of bloody great statue. I thought really evoked the scenery for.
Could be called George. We don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Just as a heads up to other players, if you click on your token, you can name it as well with little borders.
The folks that put this Albert Rodeo, love them. It makes gaming slightly less painful, apart from the people in chat, which again I love and hate you all. But yes, that's where the creature. So, Tammie, that's where the creature's coming up the hill from. So you'll be coming up in that direction. It's kind of breaking its way through trees, and it does it with ease. So it pushes decent sized trees, probably the 20 to 30 footers across without particular stress or strain.
So Shaka will quickly grab Varsha, Douglas, and Hawk, because Dandelion can look after themselves. They're quite capable and they can have high mobility. But she will do Emboldening Bond on the other three.
Yep. What does that look like?
So it's almost like these little semi-translucent flower vines of like jasmine make these connections between the three of them and then circle round and then dissipate.
And with this magic emanating off you, vicious tones that sink through, the spirituality connects you all together. And you're a team. You're a peaceful team chasing what appears to be large rabbits with horns on them, with a giant statue coming towards you, and you're singing total.
You almost hear this little whisper as it dissipates. Peace for the bunnies.
I'm here for it.
Oh yeah! Now that I can speak with them, are they saying anything? While we're like able to listen to them.
Sorry, Matt. What was that?
That's right. Now that the spell is like active, are we able to like? Well, am I able to like hear anything that they're saying? Like, can I get a gist of their vibe?
So, a couple of curious things. So where Douglas is, there is a couple of separate conversations. So, the conversations you're getting from these creatures are like, oh, these ones, and this guy's an idiot. And that's the kind of the sense you get from these curious unicorn bunnies, yeah. They do seem to be fascinated with Dandelion. They're literally genuinely fascinated with Dandelion, and Shaka Khan too. It's like they seem to be more motivated. Hawk, then they're not sure of, because he's helping the absolute drongo that is doing stuff. But the other thing you hear is a really raucous conversation about nightlife coming from that strange pen. There are two of them. It's laddish-like conversation going on, but it's definitely definitely animals, something that they're having a very laddish thing about what they need to do over the weekend.
Can I just like talk to the nearest bunny and go, hey, are you like, what's your thoughts on Mr. Tortleman over there with the very clearly fake hair?
It raises its head and it points at you and goes, wow, someone we can talk to.
Yeah,
He's an idiot.
No, I've gathered that, yeah.
He thinks we're unicorns.
Yeah, well, you look like, less equine unicorns a little bit, yes.
Yeah, but he doesn't understand. He keeps breeding. He keeps breeding us. He's an idiot.
So, like, what are you then? If you like,
technically, we're a large family. We don't like to classify ourselves in that kind of different type of things. We like to think of us as a group. There is a technical term for us, but I don't know what this idiot is. He brought us in Waterdeep, which he's a moron, and then brought us here to breed us. And now we're the only ones that's left.
Okay, so like, if I was to say the words bunny revolution, what would come to mind in your mind?
At that point in time, she sits back on her haunches and then says, if you can disperse the idiot, this hill would be ours.
Well, hold on. That sounds much more ominous than I thought. So, like, what? Okay, that's why I said, like, if I said, like, what would be your give me like a game plan of like what you would immediately do as bunnies on hilltop with whatever power you want. Is it an effect? No, I won't ask that. What would you want to do? What's the like? Don't even think about it. First thing that comes to mind.
Oh God.
Yeah, bunny goals, life goals.
Bunny goals.
Hashtag YOLO.
First off, we get rid of the slugs. They go first.
And are the slugs like sentient like you?
And it gestures its horn to the large stables to the north.
Okay. Not
They
loving
go first.
the direction there. What's the next thing that you do?
Then we use the turtle's shell as a new home. That'll be my throne.
Yep, nope.
Okay. All right. I'm not saying I'm not into it, but let's keep going. What's your next step? Does it have anything to do with the town down there?
Oh, we don't care about humans. We want this. We want this hill for our own.
Do I fall under the umbrella of human? Because I'm a kobold.
No, you look like a really ugly fairy.
I've been called worse, so yeah, fair enough.
Like a really ugly fairy. Oh, actually, you look like one of those pseudo dragon thingies. You know, the ones that fly around.
You stop. Please call me dragon as much as you want.
Oh, well, as soon as we've killed the slugs and then skinned and then hollowed out the turtle, this is ours, and you're fine.
Okay. Do you have any like powers in your body or your horn? And if someone was to pick you up by like a pair of each legs, could one wield you like a gun?
Well, look, again, just speaking among fellow revolutionaries, no. But our horns are used by these magical idiots all the time. Apparently, we're a magical species linked to the Fae in some way, shape, or form.
Okay. Do you mind if I have a word with my compatriots and we'll discuss what we want to do? Bunny revolution.
Yeah. So as you turn away and speak to your compatriots, like, it's on, girls.
No, hold on. Just hang tight. Okay, so look, they think he's an idiot, and they do like the idea of being free. However, some of their plans have a less than quality to them in terms of murder.
What?
Yeah, well, I think they want to hollow out the turtle and make him soup, but they also don't want to harm humans. And I don't know, because they called me an ugly fairy, so I don't think they mean me or the town down yonder. I don't know how far the term human extends. They're not rabbits.
Wait. Can you ask them about me?
Okay. All right. What's your do you have a moniker you'd like to be referred to as? Because there's a lot of you, and I need to refer to you specifically sometimes.
Just call me Your Majesty from now on.
Bugger. All right. He says call him Your Majesty. Now, if that's not a hint, then I don't know what is. Like, I would love to be called your Dragon Lord Opulence as well, but it's just not realistic.
Your Dark Majesty.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so he says call him Your Dark Majesty. I'm speaking in common now. He says he wants to be called Your Dark Majesty, so that's, it's another point
that's not a good sign. This is almost looking like the frog incident all over again.
It is, isn't it? So many frogs just raining from the sky. There's too many for me.
No. I don't like these magical creatures doing whatever they want and trying to hollow out, you said, the turtle?
Yes.
Hang on, that's their starting position. And to be fair, they have kind of been enslaved here. So maybe we can negotiate that we free them from the turtle, but the turtle stays alive.
What's happening?
What happened?
What
happened?
Oh.
All right, hold on. Okay.
Okay. So just for our beautiful audience out there and my amazing cast here, we're going to do a 5-minute bio break. just take a think.
Combine it.
I'm not going to have a nervous breakdown in the corner because I am now drinking someone's blood. That is absolutely fine. So I'm
first pee and now blood, man.
Yeah,
living it up.
Yeah, welcome to Australia.
So we will come back to the events of the hill in a moment. So just to quickly close the scene before we go to break, we have a number of. We have the statue that is now at the bottom of the hill, and the wonderful cleric and Vasha can hear it talking. so its lower jaw is actually moving. The dandelion, Douglas, and hawk are basically around what appears to be murderously conspiring strange bunny-esque creatures with horns on them, and the turtle is basically rearranging his hair with what appears to be carrots in them. But the bunnies are circling ominously, and to be clear, Douglas can hear what appears to be large creatures talking in a laddish format, thing above it, and shuffling. So
I think that's the snails.
with that, we're going to take a 5-minute break, folks. Don't go anywhere because I love and hate you all. Back soon. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Peace out.
Oh dear.
So I don't even. You turn into a sheep. I can't even. I can't even fathom.
He's a sheep.
Yeah. I tried. I'm like, I don't know how to narrate this.
Oh god, he's
turned into a
fluffed.
sheep.
Initiate sheep protocol. Initiate sheep protocol.
Wait, no.
He's having a bad day. That's great. Well
Inspiration.
No, that's Chad gets the inspo on that one. That was
Chad, you're the best.
That's the best.
All right. Hey, that's no. We've been fleeced.
Ah.
I'm Greg. You're
I'm also
You're also Greg?
Yeah, I'm also Greg, mate.
We're all Gregs today, my friend.
Yeah. We're all Gregs
today.
in some capacity. You know, Greg's maybe the cosmic identifier of the universe.
Sure.
No, and he just like kind of shakes it off. He's like, okay, cool. You know, old Greg Tavern sitting in front of you. How, like, it's your favorite place in town. Not other Greg, not other Gregs, this Greg's Tavern. And you're looking around at the patrons. You see Greg, you see Tim, soon to be Greg. You see the person formerly known as Greg. And then you see a very angry looking person in your regular booth.
Oh.
Couldn't be older than like 12 or 13. He's just sitting there with a big scowl on his face.
Look, it's young Greg. Every member of your party except you.
5, 5, 5, 5 sheep. Cool.
I'm chewing on some pants.
Great. It's going great. Ah.
Pick me. Pick me.
Who's saying that?
Pick me.
Which sheep is saying that? I can't even tell.
Pick me.
Oh my god!
Hey! I think aren't we?
Oh no!
At the goal.
We hit the largest donation for tonight by NBC DM with the donor comment: the train crashes into a sheep. So no lasting. I think let's make some really quick checks to see what happens. Whether first of all whether you crash into the city or whether you crash into an outlying paddock.
I'll let the group know that it is magical, but it tastes weird. It's not like it should be ham, but it's roast beef, right?
Tastes
like,
weird.
Huh?
It's hard to describe.
Grok looks at him and gives the book a small lick and agrees. Yeah, it does taste weird. Yeah. I love.
Roll me a quick Constitution saving throw, Trent.
You licked the book. You licked the book.
I mean, have you seen the book? Like the book.
That thing looks demonic.
It's on Ardent Roleplay.
It tasted weird.
It does not look like a book to be licked.
Stop yelling at Grok. He told him it tastes weird.
As she sneezes, you look at your booger glowing, and it seems to be getting bigger and bigger. But no, actually, you seem to be shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And you're looking around, and your feet are stuck, and you're almost like a baby Groot. You are now a potted plant.
Really sorry.
I don't think you are really sorry.
Steve, I just have to say,
can I
that was
leaves?
Bloody genius.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're almost like a baby Groot, just moving around, but you can't really move anywhere.
In the formation of my leaves, I'm gonna present 2 twigs.
The door slams off of its hinges.
Uh-oh.
I would like to stealth.
You can stealth. As crawling out of it, crouching, is what looks like a cake golem.
Did we make
What?
that? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
And I'm going to move you across to my lovely picture, which I made.
What?
Of the cake golem.
What? What?
Oh, that's
Roll
cool.
initiative,
Oh
please.
my god. Oh, that's fantastic.
great.
I love it.
And welcome back, wonderful people. So far, I'm not sure how to describe it. It seems to be a journey of Chris's lack of skill in languages, voices, or plot telling. However, this incredible party so far have left the village, walked up a hill, farted a few times, and then found a group of murderous bunny rabbits with horns sticking out their heads that want to gut and then hollow out their total overlord, the farmer, who is a strange one that speaks with a weird Jamaican accent. And there is apparently 2 giant slugs in a case. The plot line apparently was that there was a giant statue, which is literally at the foot of this hill where the farm is, walking slowly, shuffling towards it. But they've been dealing with the murderous bunnies at this stage. So we're going to fade back in where 3 of the party, our wonderful Ranger Douglas, Hawk, and our wonderful fighter Vasha are standing there having a conversation while Dandelion and Shaka Khan are basically enamored. Well, sorry, the animals are enamored with them. The rest of them and the turtle, who's just put his wig back on, is standing there looking there. You can see the giant statue now at the bottom hill, slowly progressing up in a kind of more geometric shuffle up towards the hill, but he's definitely coming towards you. And it looks like a he rather than a she statue, but could be just guessing. So, stepping back in, what would you like to do?
Okay, so these just 1 second. I don't think these look, do you want to just like end the spell, stop talking to them? Like, we can just leave them to their fate here. Sounds like they're going to cause more trouble than they are right now with an idiot in charge of them.
Yeah,
After
but
what
I
you
also
said,
don't,
I'm kind of scared not to know what they're saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't want to just like leave them to their own devices. Like if they're talking about hollowing out the person who owns them, that's
They're also so there's like also some pompous voices coming from the barn. They say they want to deal with them next.
Oh,
yeah, no, I'm getting.
I vote no on that one.
Yeah, no.
So I like that it's a negotiation and we have a starting point from each side.
Yes.
We could probably get to a point where there's no murder, but we do also have that other creature coming up the hill that's kind of trying to talk as well.
Yes.
They seem to be coming straight for the unicorn bunnies almost. They've like done a beeline here. Do you think that they're somehow connected?
Idea, they could just sort each other out.
Or the bunnies could somehow take control of the creature and use it to murder everyone anyway.
Ooh, yeah. What? How about we just tell the bunnies we're planning to help them?
Yes.
And maybe they go in the pen and wait for us, and then
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll get on to them. Hey, Bunny. Dark Majesty.
I forgot about that.
Okay. Your overlord ship. We have decided, as a collective, your interests align with ours on the most part. So, Just one other question. Is that big statue with you guys?
What statue? You realise we're not that tall, and the bunnies are all looking up. They're kind of
Can I hold you up for a sec? You only get about 3 extra feet, but here you go.
One may approach the Majesty and lift her.
Okay, I pick up the bunny and I show it to show the statue to it.
Okay, dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh shit!
Bunny tosser, bunny tosser.
Oh, it's not terrible. Did you say dex save?
Yes, please.
Oh, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As you gracefully lift the bunny, the bunny scat smatters and misses you completely as it kind of sprays in its majestic way up to the top of things.
Okay.
And it goes, shit me, that's nothing to do with us. Run, ladies.
Okay,
run.
no, I don't put him down. I hold him and I go, hey, listen up, other you bunny little. I got your dark majesty. Now I heard you plotting some bullshit. And I'm not for it. We're all none of us are for it. So here's what's going to happen. Get in your bloody pen or there's going to be hell to pay. Okay? I'm not around.
Intimidation or persuasion roll? Choice is yours.
Yes.
I would like to intimidate. My persuasion is... Oh, no, my persuasion's the same. Don't worry about it. Come on, I've had 3 nat 20s. Let's try and keep that going.
Okay.
Oh, it's a 12.
It's going to be a roll-off, kids. Let's see what happens.
Ooh.
Help me out, friends. Intimidate. Yell at the bunnies. They don't understand.
Wait. Oh, are we just
like,
D4?
The turtle
Aren't you
doesn't
boosted?
like the noise.
Oh, you got a D4.
Aren't you boosted?
The D4.
Oh, what?
Bond. Use your bond.
Oh, shit.
Bonded.
Where's my D4?
This could be the difference between a gruesome bunny fight.
It's a full 4. So it's 16.
If it wasn't for Shaka Khan, this would have been the worst thing ever. But the soothing tones of Shaka Khan.
I feel Shaka Khan's hatred of bunnies flow through me as I... Oh no!
Brings
what's going on here?
Peace to this as her dark majesty. I don't want to look at that.
What's happening?
I'm not looking at that. No, I'm not looking at anything. Okay, moving swiftly on. The power of love flows through.
Douglas becomes a smooth operator.
I already am.
And her dark majesty above you, while stopping scatting for a second. Ladies, the small dragon might be onto something. I think there is a giant bloody statue coming at us, and we should scatter to the hills. So let us leave gracefully and run like bunnies.
But no, get in the pen. The pen.
It's safe in the pen.
Whatever. Yeah,
I didn't think we wanted to save them. They're bloody evil.
We will make our way to the pen. The small dragon thinks it's the safest place for us, and his judgment seems to be sound because he's going to help us overthrow the turtle and skin him.
Yeah, no, they're still on about the overthrowing thing. Look, see if you can pick up a bunny each or something. You know, it could be collateral we need.
Could anyone wants to do that? It's either a dexterity or strength attack, please. Your choice. You're basically an unarmed combat grabbing that. However, Talera, if you're looking to use either a kindness and love, you can pick another skill to try and do that. No,
she's going to try. She doesn't really want to touch them. Butterflies came out of their coop. So
one also just shot it at me as well.
Yeah, she's going to do like what you do with chickens, where you have the arms out and you're kind of ushering them towards the area.
Can I grab it backwards? And point the butt.
Oh yeah, it's like a literal pellet spread.
Please don't.
I got a 19 on the dex.
Oh no! Oh no!
So
all right,
Hawk.
Do I add that?
He quickly, deftly, and grabs the bunny in a way. The horn is incredibly sharp, and the other thing that you notice, Hawk, about this horn is it glows with a peculiar light. So is definitely a magical sense that you get out of this thing. You have heard stories previously that these horns are probably worth an awful lot in the right hands. So there's obviously something to it. These are obviously some sort of magical link creatures, but the horns are sharp and bloody pointy, so you won't want those too close to you from that. But you definitely grab up the rabbit, and it does that kind of weird rabbit scrabbling thing where it's trying to work out what it is. It's not quite as smart as a cat, though, so it's kind of like almost caught. So we have 2 bunnies in the air. Anybody else?
Careful, you got to hold it a certain way. If it tries to escape your arms, it might kick itself and hurt itself. So you got to like.
Does it do the thing that chickens do with the head?
Kind of, but more with their legs.
Oh.
Anyone else would like to help put the bunny? The strange bunny unicorn-esque creatures into the pen?
Oh yes. Have I noticed that they've been like unusually fascinated with me?
Yeah, you do, because it's kind of that bit where you're used to people being fascinated with you, but they're kind of just rotating their head slowly in a slight velociraptor type way.
Oh, okay. So she's going to alternate between every language she knows, which I'm sure they will not understand, which is like Abyssal, Common, Draconic, and then just like start like flouncing over towards the pen, like trying to get them like, come on, let's go. Let's
just
go,
every
buddies.
language.
Come on.
Okay. Time is going to go in a second, but as we're doing this and as you're touching the bunnies, each of you we're going to do roll rounds. So, Dandelion, as the voice comes out, please roll a D100.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
100. It's gonna be a 46.
Oh, that cheeky grin. Here we go.
Yeah.
I saw it. I saw it
no.
slowly comes up.
So for our wonderful viewers and some of our wonderful American players, we're using the Australian rules version of the Wild Magic table. So what happens to Dandelion is she has a dummy spit. What that means is she's very angry about something, and for the next 2 rounds, rages. You burst into a rage. So you are currently, Dandelion, a raging fairy sorcerer. Give us the anger. So you have the benefits of rage.
Come on, Tinkerbell, be a barbarian.
Wow. Dandy, you look amazing. Have you been working out?
What? Yeah, I listened to the protein suggestions that you gave, and she just starts yelling, "Move right now, you fat little bunnies! Come on!"
Oh, Dandy, I think you took a little too much pre-workout. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Dandelion like this before.
Could you roll advantage on an intimidation check, please, Dandelion?
Okay.
I love that the fairy is raging right now. This is amazing.
The smallest member of the party.
That's horrible. With advantage, my highest roll was a 3, which makes it 6.
Fairy rage isn't the same as other rages from there, and it comes off as adorably cute rather than anything else. It's like, oh, bless. And the bunny is now actually transfixed with you, but just rotating, and its eyes seem to be becoming doe-like and getting larger and larger as it just looks at you. It is now doing that nose thing with you, but your rage still flows through you. We will now cut to our fighter. Please roll a D100. Bring it home. Bring us something magical.
Where'd my D100 go? This is fine. I can roll percentiles. This is okay.
This one's fine. Fine.
This is fine.
And Jacob,
This is fine.
you're an evil but beautiful man. Go on.
I just rolled a 100.
Oh no.
Okay, so let's just pause a minute. Jacob, you've just broken the game. The next phrase you speak comes true.
That, like, do you know this or?
I'm putting this in game context just for class. So I will give you a moment to think about what you're going to say and how much you want to destroy whatever this is. At this
Mess
point
him
in
up.
time.
Just do it. Just mess up the whole. Just do it. Just go for it. Absolute.
In
That
character,
bloody great statue crumbles to bits into a pile of sand.
cool. We'll get to that in a second. Matt, roll me a D100, please. You have got Her Dark Majesty.
7.
Ow. How we can really screw up at this one.
Yeah. It's a big old 7. Oh no, what'd you do?
Flaming Ars. That is a fireball centered on self. Your 5th level. Roll 9d6.
Yeah, all right.
On you.
You're right. You're right.
Hold on.
How many of us are close to him?
Do the new kobolds get like a resistance to the thing that the scales are?
Yeah.
I don't know if...
Sure. Let's go with that because I'm trying not to kill you.
I was red, so... I mean, how many d6?
9d6 is your 5th level.
Oh, it wouldn't kill me anyway. 31.
Oh, it wouldn't kill you anyway. I love this. Okay. I'm going to do a couple wild magic move rounds before we go through the infight ones. Chaka Khan. D100.
Oh, okay. Going to use these wonderful dice I got from Meeples and Dragons.
This.
23.
Okay. Just before Fireball goes off, as you've got the Raging Fairy, as Vash is about to utter something, Shakan, you look down and on your feet. These thongs appear. Literally, thongs again for our American viewers are what we call flip flops in the rest of the world. So there are like sandals that fit between your toes. They're not underwear of a particular nature, just to be clear for everyone out there.
Yeah,
they're thongs of haste.
That is such an oxymoron, and you know it.
Glad you clarified that they were the shoe, because otherwise that would have gotten really awkward.
I mean, it could...
I also just think that would be an interesting thing.
Okay.
See, like a thong of haste would, what does that do? But thongs of haste. Now we're talking.
So,
given how hard it is to run in thongs, giving them haste is just
cruel and unusual.
It means your walking speed becomes normal instead of half.
A jogging walk that you see people do? Yeah.
Yeah, like Bryan Cranston and Malcolm in the Middle.
The final thing is Hawk, a D100, please.
Yep. All right, that's a 32.
Oh dear God! Another Australianism. Within 30 feet of you, just before Douglas. Actually, we'll do it after Douglas's thing. It will make sense. So, turn events. Raging Dandelion Fairy has the rabbit intense, right? Vasha, what do you say?
London Bridge is falling down. I don't know why.
The statue is the London Bridge is falling down.
To make it break.
Okay. Holy crap. Okay, so Bashis just basically points it and says, Waterdeep Bridge is falling down. Yep. And above it, a giant bridge. So I'm going to have to work out the mechanics of this and make it up as I go along. However, it's at this point, Chaka Khan, you look down, it's like, oh wow, new footwear. And then suddenly there is that Bond-esque moment where fire just erupts from Douglas. He's smothered in there. Everyone can make everyone. Let's see. So Dandelion, I think you're out of range. I actually have a map for people on that one.
So I just want to clarify: is that 10 minutes up yet, or do?
No, you're still good because it's a heroic moment. But according to the map, everybody is basically clustered around that. So everyone make dexterity saving throws, please.
And just
is this what's that one for?
This is the fireball.
Okay, I got a natural one.
Natural 1. 31 points of damage for you, young man.
Yeah.
Because you're resistant. So
Can you still use your bond thingy, or is that gone?
Yes, no, it's still going.
I mean, it's a natural one either way.
Yeah. 15 points of damage because you're resistant, young Douglas.
22 to that.
You save Hawk. Dandelion.
Which is half damage, right?
Yes, half damage. 15 points.
Oh, do the bunnies get hurt by the fireball?
Oh, yes, they do.
Oh, no.
Anyway.
Does the turtle get hurt?
We're about to find out.
man.
Dandelion, what'd you get, Sri?
Scorched earth farm.
So I'm going to go ahead and use, just as clarification, my Tides of Chaos to gain advantage on this.
Okay, I'm very excited because that's another wild magic surge.
Whoops, that is a check, not a saving throw. I'm sorry. That is strength, not dexterity. Oh my gosh, I'm failing right now.
This is good.
Let's see here. It's the exact same roll, 15.
15, you save. Fantastic. Okay. Asher, what'd you get?
30-20.
Oh, half damage, 15 points. And Shaka Khan in your Thongs of Haste. What do you get?
I presume, I can't remember off hand, I presume haste doesn't give me any advantage in getting out of the road?
I think it gives you advantage on dex saves, doesn't it?
Yeah, dex saves advantage.
Okay, so I get to...
I've just had a thought, and it could... Oh, go on.
14 is my
14.
highest. I get the full 31. I am looking bad.
I just had a thought. Now, we have just told the bunnies, right, that we are in fact on their side and we're trying to protect them. And a fireball has just gone off, possibly killing the turtle that they already want dead by accident. Now, we could totally convince them that we're still on their side because we have both dealt with the threat of them and the turtle and the big statue. And the statue. So, in their eyes, right, we've done nothing but help them. And our consciences should be...
I still don't know what my thing is.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
All the bunnies explode.
No. So good. So, again, just to reframe it, Hawk and yourself, Douglas, you had a Dark Majesty. Randy also had one as well under his arm. No one else had picked up bunnies, so there are two bunnies that are in the middle of this. The cloud dissipates. You see the turtle Swig is now fully aflame. He looks at you, his mouth opens. Instead of words, you see a belch of flame, and the corpse of the turtle walks back into his now burning. Her Dark Majesty.
I don't know how to feel about this, but we're getting it done.
Her Dark Majesty is burnt, but somehow alive. And in this moment, as you look around you, look at each other, you've kind of got that kind of comedy burnt kind of face at this point in time. Hawk, your eyes flare open, and around you, for 30 foot around you, plants surge up from the ground. Avocado plants surround you.
Gonna be rich.
30 foot around you is now a forest of avocados, a classic Australian delicacy. Surrounding him. Someone is rich. However, it's a curious moment where you hear the Earth Genasi say something weird about a bridge, and you're looking above you, and a bridge is now descending upon the giant statue thing. Because D&D has mechanics for this one, all the rule books, like a whole bunch of rule books, nothing useful in that one. If anyone from D&D Beyond was here, I'd like to complain about having a lack of falling bridge. So I'm going to roll some dice.
I would like to see the official 5e conversion for London bridges falling down on my party.
The bridge collapses on top of this. It's a stone bridge because, mechanics. And the statue is now pinned underneath this bloody great bridge. It's taking significant damage. Let's roll some dice. Lots of damage. It's still talking at this stage, but it seems to be pinned by a massive bridge. Her Dark Majesty turns to you. Hey, what was that?
Look, twofold answer. I had a burrito for lunch. The other version was, you're welcome, because your problem is done. Like we promised.
Sisters, we are victorious.
Huzzah! I'm still not letting go, by the way.
No, huzzah, she says. The curious thing, Chaka Khan, while you're watching this and severely injured, the barn to the north where these things are is also on fire, and you can hear heavy ramming sounds coming from it. Douglas, you can still hear the terms of now some fairly irate creatures in there.
The barn's on fire. Probably should let them out and not burn to death. Just to check.
Yeah,
Fair.
I'm gonna.
Says the raging fairy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She now has a dandelion has an avocado in her hand, and she's just yelling, "An avocado! Thanks!"
How many people need a heal aside from me?
I also need a heal.
Okay.
Oh, I could do with a big one.
As like my whiskers are like singed.
Hold on, real quick, and I'm gonna run over real fast to the barn doors and just kind of rip them open. Just real fast.
With an immense,
no, Charlotte Crane.
Could you just give me the length strength? Give me a strength test to show me how dramatic you do that at.
Nat 20. I ripped my shirt off in the process.
Oh.
I ripped my shirt off in the process.
One of the bunnies fans her face and faints. It is that impressive. It literally is like, oh.
You see just like fire and like smoke like burst past my silhouette as I'm standing there in front of the doorway. Billowing past.
The shock and awe of what you do is replaced by a moment of confusion as you see two giant snails with flails hanging off their heads. Yes, these are the classic D&D flail snails, the size of horses, sitting there looking at you through their eyes, looking confused. However, with that muscularity, that sheer prowess, they are clearly taken with you. And knowing that, unfortunately, to Douglas's points, they appear to be lad snails, they are very impressed with what you just put out there.
Just as an aside, I forgot to do Charlotte Crane on her deck save, and it was 15.
That's the magic number. So she takes 15 points. 14 was the one where you.
Okay, all right. She's bloodied. She's all right. She's not dead. About to bloody get me a flail snail mount.
There is two flail snails that are looking at you, and
still might.
Douglas, all you can hear is like, wow, coming from the shed.
What a lady!
Which is still burning, by the way. There are two giant flail snails staring directly at you.
Yeah, just before we go any further, who wants a 3rd level cure wounds? Who else took the full effect?
I've got. I could do. I took a 15 damage. I didn't take 30.
So
I don't know what that means.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm badly hurt.
Hawk, take 21 heal. And
You're running low. I've got some cure wounds as well.
Douglas, 15.
Oh, that's exactly the enough.
So some spells, but I do have some potions and stuff as well.
I've got. I might. I'm gonna use a cure wounds level 2 on Charlotte Crane while I'm here.
I'm gonna throw myself to the ground and do a couple of push-ups and second wind myself.
Okay. You have two flail snails that while you're doing this, that literally all around here is like, he's gorgeous. Look at the muscularity.
You guys can escape now.
Hold on, who is?
You're good. I don't even know if they can understand me.
Yeah, no.
I'll translate.
Yeah, the snails are very taken with your fighter.
Oh.
Sheer power that she showed by ripping the doors off its hinges and saving them from, being escargot.
Oh, do you two like big scary women?
Sure.
They like you quite a lot. They're enamored.
Heard you need a new mount.
They said,
convince one.
I don't need to replace Charlotte Crane, but I would like to have versatility in my travel styles. Yes.
I take a pause, look at him. Why not both? And then I go back to my push-ups.
You're right. An ibis could, in fact, ride a snail. Tell you what. Okay, what's your story, you two? She is very interested in the both of you. Now, there can only be one, or, if you do well enough, both join us. So, what do you say?
Well, normally we pull the cart or the.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, okay. Well, we are loyal yet horny snails, so we're looking for love.
They are both claiming to be your how do I put this delicately? Suitors, yes. That's the word. That's actually the word I couldn't remember.
Oh, I thought you were going to say slime daddy for a second. And I was like, no,
you could absolutely. I will rescind that. They want to be. They want to be under your guise as the slime daddy. So you would be their slime daddy in that sense.
They can pull our cart. They look sturdy
So I'll take
enough.
that as a yes.
Yes.
Okay, like,
I'm done
which
with
one
it,
of you is more subby than the other? Because that's gonna. Look, she said yes to becoming slime daddy. You sorted amongst yourselves.
There's a curious club off moment where they start kind of flailing each other to
whoa,
basically show
whoa.
which one's more kind of like, I'm the true mount here. Do you have any animal skills? A wonderful fighter to help you pick a mount of some descriptions? Anything?
I think the one that has a bit big of an eye stalk could be the one.
Anyone want to help? Dandelion, you're feeling less angry now, but there's definitely a moment of...
Okay. Dandelion was about to start yelling, "They're really ugly," but she stops. Do you need help? Are they angry? They're fighting.
Well, they
Here, little ones. And she's gonna kind of start floating over in that direction. Shh, let's not fight. No, let's love each other and try to use animal handling.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay.
I just see her putting up like a shh to both of us. Shh.
Okay. You get the sense that they do want to love someone already, but this is kind of PG-13, so I have to be very careful the line I'm treading.
That's
But
fair.
Dandelion, if you'd like to make an handling check and...
Absolutely.
Yeah, handle
Let's see
those
here.
animals.
Handle them. Not very well. 10. Shh. No murder today.
Yeah. Do it at advantage because of the impressive flexing that's going on.
Oh. The help action comes in many forms.
Yes, slightly, yeah. D&D. There's, I'm sure it'll be the next Unearthed Arcana. This bit will be completely covered as long with Fort Bridges. Get on that, Dan. So moving swiftly on. They are pliant to your Earth Genasi's will. How you ride slugs? Let's find out together. But you believe that you've calmed them down.
I have a solution for exactly this. The magic item, the uncommon magic item that I have chosen is called the Saddle of the Cavalier, and magic items are well known to resize to fit the wearer of the said magic item, which means that the Saddle of Cavalier will automatically adjust to be able to ride on a snail.
Okay.
This is great.
D&D.
I love silly characters.
So with the gentle words and the less burning smell of your cleric or peace, the gathered bunnies are currently contentedly, and as the spell slowly starts coming to an end, you can hear them. You can hear that her Dark Majesty offering positions to her underlings, as long as they breed significantly in the next 48 hours, because she needs an army to defend her hill, and then they've got to work out how to scrape out the turtle.
That's the part that I didn't want.
The scale to 1 to 5, Emily, probably a 16. But the good thing is you have now 2 mounts, so a wonderful Ganassi can ride one of these things with significant proficiency, feel free to look up on D&D Beyond, and it's actually Kayla. There's the actual creature itself. So you've got a CR3 mount
And
that can climb walls. Basically, they're actually pretty dope.
Yeah, the Saddle of the Cavalier. Also, while you're riding it, if you are knocked unconscious, you do not dismount, and while you're on it, attack rolls against the mount have disadvantage.
Ooh. There is one more slug that is Dandelion's magical words have kind of wooed it into a sense of confusion because it's not really sure what is there, but it thinks it's on a promise of something later on. Up to your imagination what it thinks it is.
Oh, we're all confused. It's okay. I'm very confused too.
This one
Will
has a
die.
harness for the wagon that you can see on the picture, which isn't on fire. That's the one that's next up. There's a little wagon there.
Do we want to?
Wagon.
And there seems to be like, can we is there like some kind of thing? I've lost my train of thought. So the turtle very clearly had something up with this farm. There's a bunch of evil rabbits here, and now some, slime daddies here.
Wait, are they the slime daddies, or is Vasha the slime daddy?
I think it's interchangeable at this point.
Oh.
We're
Either
all
or.
slime daddies.
We could all be the slime daddy.
Wait, how do the bunnies feel about us? How do the bunnies feel about us letting go their arch enemies? Because they were definitely, you said, talking about murdering.
But we have control over them now. We can make sure that they are up to good.
It's at this moment where you hear the sound of what appears to be a fancy train in the background as your DM railroads you in there because we're running a little bit low on time to a mystery event that I have no idea what the hell it is. And as your mount, so our fighter is currently on the mount and you're discussing it, it is that the earth gives ways as the tunneling sound of many, many, many curious bunnies happen. And our wonderful voice from the heavens, Clint, will tell us what to do next.
Oh,
this
no.
is the mystery bit. Clint, what happened? They can't hear you, but Clint's going to tell me what to do, though. That's it. We have a mystery card.
Oh, no, yeah. I'll pull that out.
And as they gather together heroically with mount in hand, her dark majesty turns. Her dark majesty says, "Yes, my new slaves," and pushes a weird pedal no one's ever noticed beforehand. And we're going to look at the hideout card. I am now going to push it to everyone because this is what happens in normal D&D adventures. Everyone will look at the new mystery encounter.
Oh, no.
Which card is that? Oh, the hideout.
The hideout.
Right.
Oh, I left the app open very long on my phone as well.
Yeah, I did too. I had to.
Ooh.
Currently unpacking this new encounter.
There's a lot to unpack here, yeah.
As you plummet from the skies, seeing the beautiful avocados that were surrounding you disappear, then flat back up. Avocados fall into the pit with you. Yep.
No.
Should be.
Oh. Yep.
Ooh.
Now I need to look at the disaster that I have no idea what it is in going through.
That's cool.
You are trapped in.
Just as an FYI, mine is not updating for some reason. I don't have it, so it's not even coming up as an available stage for my character.
Oh, there goes mine. Oh, yeah?
So you plummet into what appears to be an old cellar. The door is barred as you discover you need to escape this fiendish pit her dark majesty and her evil minions have clearly created. Because we didn't want to do the adventure. We literally wanted to see how we can make this as painful as humanly possible. Tell me what you'd like to do, and I will enact the hand of gods to make things happen. So explore the room and tell me what we're exploring.
Well, I want to explore the barrels that I see over there.
What's in the barrels?
Give me 1 second. I have to reload because.
That's good.
But yeah. Excited. What's in the barrel? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Okay. Where's that little bunny that pressed the bloody pedal?
She left your grip. Her dark majesty flung away at the last possible second because otherwise this would be too complicated as a plot point.
There's blood inside of the barrels.
Dastardly. What is that? Oh my God, there's blood inside.
My character is going straight for the coffin, or what looks to be a coffin.
Is there a person in that barrel?
Yeah.
There's a person in the barrel.
I'm looking in the barrel.
The voice reached out and says, are you here to save me?
No. We're here to leave.
Yeah. Last time we asked that question, bunnies literally sent us here and tried to take over a farm.
How'd you get locked in here? Wait, do you know the way out?
I'm a simple delivery boy. Melvin's my name. I was literally bringing up these beautiful little kind of like woolly hats for the bunny rabbits, and then they savagely dumped me in here. I've been trapped for days.
That's a lot of blood. I'm surprised you're still alive, but congrats.
Is he really alive? Are we sure? Are we 100% certain he's alive?
That's a good question.
Anyone passingly familiar with undead?
Not in the least.
No. Which is
I have arcane, but no, not undead.
Medicine. Anyone have medicine?
Yes.
Make a medicine check for me.
And I have turn undead, so I've got like some level, but just not a huge direct amount.
I didn't take detect magic.
Oh, I have detect magic.
So 16 on my medicine check.
Oh, he's dead. Your spine and legs aren't broken that way. The fall killed him immediately, and he's clearly died and bled out in this barrel. He doesn't appear to realize he's dead.
I'm going.
I am going to cast detect magic on that. What?
So just if the rest of the slime daddies or whatever we're calling ourselves now want to come over here, I just want to have a little bit of a powwow with the group.
I move over there.
Melvin's hand is reaching out from the barrel.
No, Melvin, we're going to talk about the best way to help you. Just stay there right now.
Dandelion smacks his hand.
One of the fingers buckles in a rather weird way, and there's that kind of snapping sound.
So I just would like to point out to everyone, I didn't open the coffin, but I find it a little bit suspicious. There's a coffin, there's blood, and Melvin is clearly dead and just doesn't know it yet. So obviously we don't know how he came to be in this state and whether or not he's now got some uncontrollable urges that might come out at any time. So please just be careful when you're in close proximity with him.
I cast detect magic on that.
As you cast detect magic, the door itself is magically barred. So the door on the picture is magically barred. There is clearly something here.
And you know what? If we hadn't have had to heal everyone, I could do dispel magic.
I can heal people if you need.
I've already used my.
Okay.
Well, detect magic is my first level spell. I have one more spell today.
Can you ritual detect?
I could have, yeah. But no, I can't. I don't have a ritual casting. I am.
Hang on. And
I do have one more spell I can cast, which is Dispel Magic, but I don't know if it's worth putting it on the door, because if there's something in the room, we should probably find it, right?
let's just check a little bit first. I've got some extra things in here I can sort of pull out.
There is a magical residue to this room. So clearly there is focuses, and some of the items that you see, the barrel itself has the residue of necromantic magic. For example, the coffin itself, you get a flow. Again, not strong sense, but there's a sense of magic in there. But the door itself is clearly a magically locked portal in some way. Curiously, the sense you get from the doorway isn't the door itself, but there's a fiendish presence at the back of that door that comes across very oddly.
Shaka just starts pulling this stuff. I tried to come prepared. We all know that. So here we go. Here I've got, we've got a vial of acid. We've got a flask of alchemist fire. We've got some antitoxin, depending on what's going on.
Can I walk over to the bookcase as she's doing that and start just like looking around for things that might work?
Investigation check. And so as Hawk is starting to investigate, what are and our cleric is doing that. The three other party members.
Why would you say that?
One of the things she is pulling out in this equipment is a bullseye lantern.
Okay, so yes, the room is pretty dark in here. But the other three, what would you like to do? You have your slug to be utterly clear. Your snail came with you, as did the bin chicken. I'm not separating you from your mounts at this point in time. So you fell through the floor on a slug, on a snail cell, which can travel up walls, by the way. But that's a plot point that we will completely admit. And Dandelion and Douglas and Vesha, what would you like to do while they're investigating? We've got the cleric currently unfolding some things. There's a voice in the barrel, and she's saying there's something bad. Hawk is looking at the books and stacks. You folks know what to do, and it's on the AR. So pick what you'd like to do and tell me what you. But this room is dark.
So disadvantage. Wait.
Yeah.
Is that disadvantage on the investigation?
Yeah, because you're a tabaxi.
Oh, I have dark vision. Never mind.
In that case, who needs light? Bloody humans. Matt, sorry, go on.
I was just about to say, has anyone looked at that coffin-shaped box in the middle of the room yet? They have?
Shaka, did you look in that box?
Okay.
Yeah.
What are we looking at? That
I got very close to it. I had intended to, and then I noticed our young undead extra.
Basher and Dandelion, what would you like to do?
Dandelion. Oh, go ahead, Basha.
No. Go ahead, Dandy.
Dandelion is panicking, and what Dandelion does when she panics is destroys stuff. She's pushing over crates.
Okay, excellent.
I'm so glad you said that, because I was like, I'm going to pass without a trace. I am so glad you said that.
you shouldn't see now the contents of the crates are now open as Dandelion, in her former rage, seems to have calmed down, but this isn't a good space. The snail, the possibly dead thing in the barrel, for example, the lack of light, the lack of just nature, and the avocados that spread really quite sadly bruised and splattered across the floor from upstairs.
Oh no!
Nightmarish.
No, that's a bad Avo smash. That's not even a good Avo smash.
No.
Can't get rich off that one at all. How are we going to afford houses in this day and age?
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, so
I gotta. Oh, sorry.
Does someone? If someone's going to open the coffin, please let me give you some guidance first.
Like advice?
Just in case. Well, it's a little bit of extra oomph to what you're doing from myself to you. So it's a little bit more like an ethereal guidance, not actual practical advice. Sorry. So I'll do some guidance, which if you have to make a saving throw, will be helpful.
Why would you have to make a saving throw? So
I don't know.
I did roll a 20 on my investigation.
Nice work. Okay. So as Dandelion smashes through, it doesn't perturb you, Hawk, as your cat-like senses avoid bits of flying crates from what appears to be a not angry, but obviously quite distressed fairy. The books themselves just provide what appear to be curious reading. The curious reading that they lead to, it mentions things about summoning of fiend. There is a whole set of books here, and they're old. So Hawk, you're looking at old. These books are probably at least 2 or 3 centuries old as you go through this area. So whatever it was dropped into, the links there. And as you're going through, these are, given your arcane kind of background, it gives you a sense that these are people who have been research on some demon-esque type approach, but it'll probably take you a day or a week or something like that to go through and put it together. But it's kind of that kind of text, but they're all through. Some of them are absolute junk. They're kind of like kind of pulp fantasy, how to summon does. So some real actual text in here, and as you kind of collect a couple more one book. Besha, what are you up to? You and your flouse now, which seems to be very, very compliant to you. Very compliant. Every knee move, it does what you. But it does leave an awful lot of slime behind it. Not sure if that's natural. Like a lot.
Ooh, you're really making this place. Oh, this is very tight, cramped space, buddy. I don't know if you can understand me. Do you mind just kind of chilling in a corner right there? I don't want to step in your goop all the time. Yeah, good job. Good job. Yeah. I'll be back for you. I'm gonna go over with the party. Okay. Just chill. Well, so what's over here? And I kind of just stare at the coffin that they're busted open.
Yeah, it's a box. It's not very open yet. Good. But there's all the other stuff going on.
Okay, and what's in the coffin?
Bugger it, I'll do it then.
Please look again.
Whoever's doing it, let me touch you up to give you guidance first.
Oh, sure. I do the digs a lot, so I'll do it.
And gloves. Gloves help too.
Oh, give me eczema, all right. What do we see?
Oh, food.
This is fine.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Oh, my.
Oh. The audience needs to know what that is. That's the bueno.
What?
Uh-oh.
Randy, I'd like you to describe what you're looking at, please.
Oh, so I'm looking at a man, I believe, in a coffin with his arms crossed across his chest, wearing a very Victorian-esque outfit. He definitely looks like he enjoys a sip of blood or something, as a snack.
No.
You too.
Oh, I don't like this one. Can we close it?
So, Hawk, as you're looking at this body, what you notice about this one is it is well preserved. It is the thing is well preserved. The blood that's been surrounding the barrels and floating towards it. You get a sense is sustaining it, but not bringing it to life.
Oh. Does anyone know how to kill something like this? Like, is it the wooden stake an urban legend, or is it real?
Hold on, what have I got in my inventory?
I don't know. You could just try it. I grab one of the wooden shards that's on the floor.
I have a level 14 CR creature to kill you all with. How dare you stake it in the heart?
I want to put I've got a bag of ball bearings. I put it around the bottom of the cask.
We also have. Well, no, we don't.
I have oil. We can set it on fire.
Yeah. All right. So first it goes slippery dippery like Daffy Duck, and then it gets on fire.
Okay.
Good.
So, your incredibly muscular Earth Genasi rips out a steak for someone.
Oh man.
Brother. That worked. So,
and Chris was worried we'd derail the game. Come on.
So, just to point out, you are in an enclosed space and you want to set fire to something in an enclosed space. Just pointing it out.
We definitely don't have a door that we can
make
go
a window.
Near the magical door. Near the magical door. Maybe this can burn down the magical door to give us an escape.
Oh, I've got holy water.
Came prepared.
To other DMs out there at the moment, never actually give your player characters the choice to buy stuff. Just put stuff in their character sheet and then just
never give us stuff that isn't starting equipment. I spent every gold until I had one left, and I was buying random stuff by the end of it. Turns out I bought holy water and a vial of dwarf food, whatever that is.
Kayla, is there anything else that Bash is going to do to basically drive this through? Anybody going to help her do this one? Because it's a dramatic moment. Sell it to me.
As I drive this stake into this vampire's heart, I will also cast Burning Hands at the same time. So it is a flaming stake.
Oh dear goodness. Okay, you see the Earth Genasi go. She basically just rips this crate open and creates this incredible looking steak from there, right? There's a strange sucking sound from her snout, but I'm sure that's fine. And as she drives it through the things, the creature's eyes pop open and it goes, "Oh, that wasn't necessary." And then starts to burn as the flaming, as its beautiful clothes. This was classic. This was classic, kind of gothic things. Probably really expensive, and now it's on flame. It's like ah! But he seems to be flailing, and his eyes are rolling. He seems to be unable to do anything as he's in torpor from being staked.
I didn't think that was going to work. Oh my gosh.
He's kind of like trying to vaguely pat himself, but he doesn't have the ability, so it's kind of more like weirdly kind of caressing his chest hairs, which is wrong.
Don't leave him medium rare, make him well done.
Douglas, use your magic water.
Oh, yes, I do have that. Okay, hold on. I know how to do this. There's instructions on it. Pour on the Eva. Oh, okay. It's just a one-stepper. And I just like dump it all on...
The animated eyebrows of the once powerful vampire raise repeatedly and then start to burn off as the skin sloughs off as the holy water pours through him. His finely white feathered shirt basically suddenly blackens as bits of his skin flow into it. So he's burning and melting at the same time. In a more high pitch, he's like, "No! If it wasn't for you pesky kids," and then collapses in a heap. As he collapses inwards, as his skull kind of rotates around. I was going to go the whole Buffy the Vampire-esque type approach where he spends an ages down, but we're a little bit low on time. So you can imagine he's writhing around in his grave, screaming and scratching himself.
I'm melting.
How is the boy reacting at this? Is the boy like worked up or?
No. Melvin's like, "Look, I just want to go home to my beautiful family.
It's okay.
I have a fiance. We want to be married at the week."
Well, let us introduce you to some beautiful bunnies that are upstairs. They what brought you here.
They're murderous, remember?
Yeah. So we've dealt with bunnies, we've dealt with Taika Waititi, and we've got snails on our team.
And we killed a vampire.
Yeah, that's Taika.
Yeah, You are still trapped in the room, just to be clear.
Right.
Which is slightly spilling with the great thing about the burning of the vampire and its age. The smoke is rising, but because we've all been in fast safety videos, you're stopping from going out. But if you flew to the top of the ceiling, you'd probably choked it. So
I'm going to grab
bad.
the acid and see if the acid works on the door.
Okay. Sure. Holy water, fire, staking, and you set fire to his very expensive boots. I mean, these were kind of Prada-esque, but not anymore.
Yeah, and
They're more Gucci for Gucci.
Right, you're still trapped. You're all going to die eventually if you don't have any food or water.
Yeah, but we got the zingers on our side.
I still do have dispel magic. I can try it on the door.
So we'll
Fox,
try
I
the
believe in
acid on the
you.
door first. We'll see if we can.
Let's try some acid on the door. There's got to be. They just locked this room from the inside that you can fall into from the top. Not the smartest. There's got to be a key in here, right?
It's almost as this is a magical escape room of some way that you need to escape from.
Or does the room need to escape from
room.
us?
Can I press the button that has the emergency exit on the escape room place? And then the person over the walkie-talkie says, "Are you okay?" And I say, "No, I'm having a panic attack. You need to let me out."
Look at the map, you idiots.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Oh, there's a door.
Wait.
There's a small door that's got a goo of some sort in the way.
Because this is D&D and you have a 3D map in front of you, you can move around or make investigation rolls. Choice is yours.
Let's do that. Let's make an investigation. Oh, that's not bad.
I will go around. I'll get the entire party to make investigation rolls, apart from the snail. Your mount can help if you'd like, Douglas.
I got a dirty 20.
Right. Okay. Randy, what'd you get?
I have a tattoo.
Randy, you think the guy in the coffin? He might have once been undead, but he smells quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Kayla, what did you get?
17.
17. Okay. This room is unnaturally dark. If there's only something there. Dandelion, what did you?
Dandelion is very convinced a single piece of glass she sees on the floor is up to something. It's 5. It was a terrible roll.
Your hair is amazing in that glass, right? And the glow that you give off and the presence you bring to it, phenomenal. Shaka Khan.
The room isn't unfortunately very dark. The lantern. But I am actually wondering, does it look like any of the bookcases are regularly moved and could have a door behind them?
No, so Hawk had done a reasonable. They look around. But what did you get, Tammie?
Oh goodness, I was trying to avoid my roll because I suck at investigation. Except I just got a nat 20.
Woo! You're standing next to Douglas, and then the two of you have that moment where it's like, I've read this in novels, and look around, and then you look around the walls. On the walls are these sconces. How strange for a creature that can see in the dark. Why would it need sconces? Perhaps.
Oh, we just killed a regular guy.
You just murdered some cosplayer. Bring Breasting down here.
Oh no! All right, who's taking the blame on this? Because it's not me that's going down. It's all of us. We all
goes.
I saw you with the stick, Douglas.
I saw you with the holy water. Yeah, that's right. If I go down, you're coming with me.
Maybe we should look at the sconces in more detail.
Okay.
The sconces appear to have motion to them. Would you like to turn the sconces?
Yes, please.
As you turn the sconces, there is a strange. You'll die. Hey! No, sorry, wrong adventure. No, as you turn, the magic flickers on the doorway and the portal clicks.
What do we do about the dead boy? Are we taking him with us or just running?
I'm not dead, says Robin.
No, you are dead. You just don't realize it yet.
I'm getting
no. Yeah.
But
Oh,
my
that's-
fiance.
Yeah,
My
she's not gonna
betrothed
want you.
said-
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
moved on. You've actually been down here for 3 years.
Oh, no.
She has children. She's very happy.
Yeah.
I want to die then. She was my love from the age of 2.
And jump on that fire
I
that
mean,
we set over there.
It didn't work the first time. I don't know if
My
it'll work the
legs are
second.
broken. I'm stuck in a barrel. I just want you to be loved.
The bunnies will help look after you and send you food.
I feel that you're being completely sincere with me, and I'm doing an inside check. Oh, I do believe you. Oh, that's deeply unfortunate. Okay, well, you seem lovely. Thank you. The bunnies are my savior.
We'll see you later.
What's this green thing that's leaking out of this kind of strange fruit? I've never seen one of these before.
Oh, an avocado?
Yeah.
Gotta farm them. You'll be rich.
Yes. Yes, there's a whole tree of them up on the surface. You should go up there probably in the middle of the day tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
I mean, we let you out the barrel. That's it. Bye.
And Melvin, who's unable with his broken finger and broken bones, is unable to leave the barrel because it's quite a heavy-looking one. The door is open. Are you going to use this to escape?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. For sanities, and quite late for US friends at this stage, you step into. If we quickly look at, because I'm railroading this back on adventure, if we
That's all
quickly
good.
look back on one I've randomly titled The Crypt, you suddenly step through a curious doorway. Albert, you will see you have randomly appeared roughly here where the red pointer is flashing. So that is on the side. You just step through a doorway through. It is a darkened crypt. The great thing is your snail's fine, your tabaxi's fine because you see. Dandelion, I think, has dark vision. Your kobold definitely has dark
I think
vision.
I have dark. Yeah.
Earth, you usually do as a kobold. But your Genasi has got light that's coming from Shaka Khan because she brings light to every party.
Yep.
and-
She's like a mirror ball, just right there.
So you can step into an area. You can see yourselves in this area. It's musty. It smells. But weirdly, along all the walls around here are what appears to be small kind of containers, and it's almost as if some evil marketing genius has left all their testers along here. Because along each and every one of the walls, going back to a long lost plot line, which we don't care about at this point in time, has the word cape and leopard, which was the 6 halflings you'd saved from Earthus. There seems to be different size kind of containers with different types of logos, but the one they seem to have gone to is 2 arrows, a thing and a C and an L. It is super hipster. The amount of testers that run around the walls line these walls. What would you like? But this area is super musty. It obviously hasn't been down here for a long, long time.
So I think whatever was taking samples from our halflings was potentially not alive and therefore didn't need actual circulating air in here. Do you think the halflings are undead?
But they clearly weren't. So you know the halflings
Oh.
weren't. That's the one thing. But there is a really, really odd smell to the air. It is mildly familiar to some of the halflings' drinks that you've tasted. They're non-alcoholic, non-carb based juices they were providing as a brewer. It has that weird smell to it.
That one wasn't me, I swear.
Have we been drinking people?
I'm sorry, what?
No.
Like there's vampires and stuff around here. There's barrels, there's vials, and it tastes like their drinks or smells like their drinks. Have we been drinking
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that part of the conversation, and I'm gonna move over here because no, I did not drink anything.
And you can sense that there is no airflow in here. So this is really odd. So you've been in dungeons before, and there's always been a vague airflow. So you must be quite deep underground. So wherever these bloody bunnies have bamfed you to in their evil trap that they clearly had planned for a very long time, and it wasn't just randomly thrown in, you stepped into what is a dank smelling thing. Dandelion, this is... you've heard of stories of dwarfs doing this on the Earth Genasi. What is here is this has been crudely cut out. Looking at the walls itself, being an Earth Genasi, but this has been done with a force of violence. So it's not skilled. It's almost as if the rock has been ripped and clawed. Right, this area is not. And then there's one more thing that throws, and I will give our wonderful ranger, our wonderful Earth Genasi, and our cleric an insight roll for me.
Can I also do a medicine roll to see if I recognise what type of samples these are?
Sure, please. All right.
15.
18. Kayla?
13.
13. Jackie Khan.
So for insight, I got 22. For medicine, I got 25.
Again, as you're looking around, so Douglas, looking at the walls, something is curious. These walls are spectacularly clean. Yeah, there is no moss. There's nothing on them. It's almost as someone has almost polished these walls. There is nothing on them at all.
Can lick those.
I was going to say, there's nothing for you to lick.
Yeah, nothing. There's nothing on here. The smell in here doesn't make sense to you. Actually, as you're looking through, and you're seeing what Douglas is doing, this doesn't make sense. So you know there's a certain amount of moisture in here. There should be something here, but you can't quite work out what it is. Chaka Khan. As you look around at this area, and you take your torchlight, your magical torchlight around, you can see there are patches of it. It's along the floors and up to chest height on the walls. But as it gets past chest height, which is higher than Douglas's view line, that moss is there. It's almost a perfect line. It's created, has removed all this other detritus, moss, and other stuff. But these walls are perfectly clean, frighteningly. And it's a pathway that leads through that doorway and south.
I have you know how sometimes you hear visions of like boulders going through corridors? What about sort of box-like things that just happen to perfectly fit and therefore clean everything it goes against?
Like, what are those sponges called? The Scrub Daddy? Not Slime Daddy.
The Scrub Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like that, except those are round and have a face on them. So actually they don't match at all.
No.
Well, because I'm just thinking this line is very straight. I mean, Douglas, you know more about different races than I do, but for it to be so perfectly straight with the cleanliness versus the moss, it would almost be like there was something scraping against it.
Yes. So on my first inspection, I always think, of course, it's infernal. So my first guess, demons. Now,
surprising.
Whether or not it is actually a demon or not, we've ruined the holy water attack because we've already used it. Does anyone have a method of detecting a celestial or fiendish presence? Because I'm fresh out of that one.
And I don't think I stopped it.
I've just got my giblets going, and I've got no tangible way to determine it.
I do not.
I have detect poison and disease rather than detecting creatures.
I've got a portable ram. That's about it.
I could ask if there's any here, but that's about all I can do to help.
Don't ask, don't get. Why not?
Yeah.
Just in case.
Really?
Yeah. Why not? Let's just ask.
Really quick, Dandy, are you about to yell?
I was thinking about it. I was considering.
Okay, go ahead, do it.
Hang on,
Really?
Let me give you some
I just
spiritual
won't
boost.
pass without a trace.
I'll cast guidance on Dandelion as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Please,
wait, am I
Dandelion.
screaming? Am I screaming?
If you want.
Hello?
As the sound echoes through that, I want everyone but Dandelion to make me a perception check, please.
Devilishly clean.
Dandelion, your voice carries through and true through this area. And the expansive area, it hits, it goes up a corridor and into an area. You can hear it bouncing around a bit. I'm going to start with Douglas. What did you get, Douglas?
What check was that again? Sorry?
Perception check, please.
Was it the one we did earlier, or is this a fresh one?
Fresh one, thank you.
Oh, fresh one, sorry. 8.
Shaka Khan.
17.
Hawk.
16.
And Vasha, please.
15.
15. Again, it's something in the cleric. There's a weird sound as Dandelion's voice echoes out through that one. As it goes to the west, the sound is weirdly muted. It's almost as if it is absorbed.
Oh, I think we need to go that way. And she'll point west.
And Shaka Khan, you can hear, it would almost be, in our terms, sound of a waterbed. That kind of like strange kind of, it's not water, but it's that kind of.
So just
sound.
Just
Like
out
snail.
of curiosity, when the snails are moving along, do they sound a little bit similar to that undulating?
Very similar, but they don't absorb noise in such a dramatic fashion.
Okay, so just a quick point: the way the sound is being muffled over there, there's a little bit of a undulating to and from sort of back and forth noise, kind of like what your new snail friends do when they are contracting and then moving along. But they don't absorb noise, which would mean that one's kind of potentially bigger if it is related to these two. So maybe it's the real, maybe it's the slime mummy. I don't know.
Mummy? Sorry? Mummy? Sorry?
Well, I mean, these snails came from somewhere. So, whatever it is, it's got some form of similar mechanics to its construct, shall we say, and it's on the other side of that.
Hey, slime buddy. I'm going to turn to my new slime friend. Is your mother here? Again, I don't know. Douglas, can you translate?
Oh, yes, I've still got more of those to use. I cast Speak with Animals, but not the spell slot version, because I've got one per day.
Okay. The snail basically is, and again, this is PG-13, but basically is very excited about his new master, and basically everything she does is just magic. And he's very hopeful that there'll be a long and continued relationship with that. However, your brave companion turns to you and says, or bugger me, I can smell quite a few weird things down here. And can you hear that? And he cocks his head in bin chicken fashion.
What do you hear?
And then it turns around and says, it's a strange pumping sound.
Oh, we didn't hear that. I can't react to it.
You mean like a water rushing, or like a kind of noise?
That one. And he does.
Oh, so it's like a dance.
It starts hopping round.
All right, lead us to it.
Okay. Whatever Douglas has been doing, he's been talking to his strange mount. The snail is protectively undulating underneath the earth genasi, as snails do, and it pokes its head round and then pokes it back in, pokes its head round, and then kind of points to something. And as the light crescents round there are these beautiful brass pipes rising out the crypt into the ceiling above you. And the light reflects in a really weird way. There is a 20 by 10 foot pit, which is, if it wasn't for the light, would look like it was empty. But you can see there is a film across it. There is obviously something in there that is utterly transparent, and it's slowly moving. And there are things slowly sinking to the bottom. You see these beautiful copper pipes are on the go through the stone and underneath. They're almost like some sort of grates. And as some sort of whatever's being dissolved in this thing gets to the bottom, those liquids are going into the pipes and they're being sucked out, and that's the pumping sound.
Oh.
And you see all sorts of shapes. Everyone who has medicine can make a medicine check.
Ooh,
Anyone who has survival can make a survival check. Anyone has got a skill to investigate can make an investigation one, whatever choice you have. So if you've got the skills, go for it. As you look at this kind of swimming pool-esque size, so 10 by 20 hit.
Shaka got a 19 on her medicine.
Okay. Dandelion.
Dandelion rolled a 1 on investigation, so she's seeing, a lot of Jello.
A lot of Jello. How prophetic.
It's a jelly wrestling pit.
Okay, we've gone there. Hawk, because you're going to bring this home and keep it sensible for me.
I actually don't think Hawk would know what to do. Like, he's just kind of like...
That's fine. I'm good with that. Basha, please.
14.
14. Good. And finally, Douglas.
14.
14 as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably not water. And the objects in it appear to be animal, mineral, and possibly humanoid, or what's left of them, as it's being disintegrated through.
They're not edible.
Not in this current state. And the bin chicken kind of rears her back and goes, "Oh,
yeah." No, I thought the same thing too, bud.
But there is as you're looking at it, and Hawk is currently just like, you swear the swimming pool substance moves.
Oh.
Ooh,
Andy, I don't think that's edible.
No. It's moving. You get a sense that it's reacting to your presence.
Oh.
Don't like it. Don't like it at all. Let's
go in a different direction.
Are you hungry?
Oh.
No, I don't think it talks.
There is a like that, and then slowly you see almost like a slow Jello wave as it rises up, and it goes from that 20 by 10 to it starts rising
I think
in
it's
a kind
smaller.
of weird, gloopy, Terminator-esque blob.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
Oh.
Now, I actually get on initiative, and I still didn't do very well.
That's my second natural 1 in a row. So,
Ooh.
4.
So Dandelion gets off. Hawk, what did you get?
I got a 16.
Chaka Khan.
13.
Our wonderful Genasi. Wow, that's awesome. And Douglas.
Also 13.
Your mount's going the same round as you, just for.
Yeah, it acts as in the turn as a kind of a bonus.
This is a slow motion D&D combat. Just to be clear, so this is an ooze that is surging towards you. It's on the map, but we'll use theatre mind for time purposes. I am going to say, Hawk, by sheer dint of skill, cat-like reflexes, what the heck would you like to do? This thing is glooping up and it's coming towards you. You get the sense it wants to hug you and keep you forever.
Yeah, don't like that. Going to sort of back up and grab this small little lamp that's on his necklace and rub it and cast Eldritch Blast at it.
Oh, that seems cruel and unusual. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Roll tip, please.
Yep. That is a 19.
Oddly enough, that hits the giant kind of square ooze coming at you.
All right. And then for that, 1d10. That's a 6.
Damage?
Yep.
It's you're slapping jelly.
Yep.
It's gonna kind of like a weird rippling thing. You're not sure if it's happy, sad, or angry, but it slaps. Chaka Khan.
So I will do the emboldening bond again. Now, who are the 3 closest to me? Like, Hawk, did you move further back? So it will be on Vasha, Dandelion, and Douglas. But instead of hearing peace for the bunnies, this time as it dissipates, you hear, fuck this thing up.
And with those meaningful and heroic words, we jump to our next one, which is Douglas.
Okay, so I'm going to point at it and get my little fantasy device that I put on the side of my bow, and I press it as a bonus action to activate my hunter's mark. And then after that, I will attack once with my longbow at the thingy. Oh, where's all my actions? It's a dirty 20 to hit.
Oh, there we go. Sinks in.
All right. Is Hunter's Mark D6?
D6, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh, not bad. 15 piercing.
It's what you'd expect shooting a giant blob of jello. It doesn't quite have the impact that you would have expected, but the arrow travels straight into it and then kind of does that kind of weird slow rotation thing.
Yeah.
Starts to disintegrate.
Okay. I'm going to sacrifice my other part of my multi-attack instead to have my companion make the attack in its place.
Yes.
And Charlotte Crane will charge 20 feet towards it and then hit it with a attack.
Sure.
To get some extra damage.
Gonna be absorbed.
Poor Charlotte Crane.
Yeah, tries to slash at it as well. Oh, it has my modifier. Okay, 18.
18 hits.
Seven that time. Seven
points damage.
7 slashing.
7 slashing. Okay. Sure.
Okay. I don't think that's effective. Charlotte Crane, come back.
Someone's knocking at my front door. 2 seconds, folks. I've just got to find out. Just hold that pose moment.
Everybody freeze.
Do we just run from this thing and hope there's another end to the tunnel?
I have no idea. I don't have any. I've definitely not taken any useful spells today. What else we got here? It's not going to trip over ball bearings.
Nope.
I actually do have some healing potions if we need them.
Got some of those. So.
Yeah.
Because Shaka's almost to a point where she's going to throw all her alchemical and acid and all that kind of stuff. Just throw it as she runs.
What else have we got? Yeah, I don't have a lot today.
Somehow don't think it's really flammable.
No. I mean, if someone wants to make a magic surge happen, I won't say no for a fireball that way.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, it was someone delivering my new lucky dice.
Oh.
But that's the one that's all 20s. No.
What?
Is it actually?
Yes, every side on it is a 20. It's called a high roller.
My new lucky dice. Lucky dice. Oh, it's my go in initiative too. I probably won't use that one. The pseudopod appears because, oddly enough, someone was foolish enough to go and run towards it. The bin chicken.
No, not Charlotte.
Charlotte. Let's see as it tries to engulf Charlotte.
No.
What is my what is the AC of Charlotte?
I don't know why I can't find this. Oh, there it is. Okay. 13 plus EB.
It just misses. There is a strange
15.
slapping sound as the extra spin chicken steps aside as you see this but the gloop and all the gunk that was there is immediately absorbed into it, and you can see it drawn in like a sponge daddy, cleans everything and sucks it in. You don't want to get caught in this thing's grasp. And it surges out and is now it's kind of doing those kind of weird bum shuffle things towards you, and it's moving like a small bum shuffling tide of jelly coming towards you.
Go home, you're drunk.
Gonna be RB for a sec.
Yes.
Dandelion.
Okay, so Dandelion is like watching her facial expression. She has no poker face. And she's just like, ew. And she's waving her arms around. Like, it seems like the area around this figure is like distorting. Can they make a Constitution saving throw for me? Please, Sylvia. DC's 14.
DC 14. I get a 7, but hold on. Gentleman's cubes are, what type of saving throw was it?
On.
Oh, 12. I'm so
Okay.
constitutionally robust, but no.
Amazing. So the area around it just seems to kind of distort a little bit, and it like temporarily disappears, and she just goes, no, and it reappears back in the spot where it had just came out from. I'm using vortex warp on it.
No, brilliant. Okay.
Push. No.
It's it is deeply confused. Brilliant. It is now pushed back, so it's well out of melee range from you because it was moving into melee range with the party. It's now back at the edge of the swim pool. Anything else you'd like to do as a move or bonus action?
So up to you for this one, because that's a second level spell slot, and I'm a wild magic sorcerer. I think that triggers a wild magic.
Oh, there is a wild magic. D100, please. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Fireball.
No, because it's centered on her.
The thing.
14.
19.
19. Okay. For whatever reason, as the magic surges, and you have this brilliant moment, there's this kind of perp, and basically grease just flows out around you. You now have grease, so you kind of wet yourself. It's kind of this is a very strange adventure. I didn't plan it this way. It is now centered on it. So the great thing is you're a flying creature, so you're completely unaffected by it. So ha party in monster. There's a grease spell in play.
Making a little Pixar reference. I inked.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm looking at our fighter now. Come on. What can you do? There is a cube that is clearly absorbing certain things and then spitting out. You're an Earth Genasi. You've got power. You're in a snail. What more could you ask for?
Does this grease, is it considered difficult terrain?
Not for a snail.
Oh, right, neat, because I'm riding my snail mail.
I like to play D&D wherever humanly possible.
I would love to use the movement of the snail to get closer to this gelatinous form. And then I'm going to have my flail snail whale on this. Gelatinous.
Well done.
Amazing alliteration. And the snail does exactly that. So, flail snail, I will bring up its stats because this was going to be a combat encounter. Honest. Tell our people in chat. Right, flail snail. 3, it's attacking. What's it, Tomb Annihilation?
Which one?
Snail large. Oh, there we go.
I think that's the only place it's come up, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa, crap. Okay, it's pretty good. It has a multi-attack, so I will roll for attacking. I'm killing my own monsters off. He's got anxiety. Second.
I was going to say, should they get advantage because they're trying to?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's a giant blob of jelly, so it's not really going to make much difference, to be honest. And the flail spell is in a very, very aggressive manner, mainly trying to wink at you at the same time, but flailing his head like this, like it's in some sort of mosh concert, slamming into the jelly.
Love it.
It's playing Akadaka in the background. It's fun. Wow. Okay, that's quite. Cool. Bits of goo fly everywhere. It's kind of weirdly weird. It's like being one of those kind of goofish. And now your attack. What would you like to do?
I would then like to swing my blade while I'm still on the snail's back, but whilst doing so, casting Booming Blade and trying to splat it up against the wall.
Go for it.
17 plus 5.
Yeah.
23.
It's got an AC of 6. It's a piece of jelly.
He's so squishy. 1d8.
Wants to love you.
2d. Oh gosh. Nice. 1d8. Okay. Ten damage.
Ooh. Your blade scythes through it like a hot knife through jelly. Yep. Wait, all the venture for that pun. Right, there we go. Anything else?
That's a good question.
Because you're now out to goo with it.
I will just attack once more. Forgive me, because I do also have a second action.
Don't forget you've got it.
Oh, I do. Thank you, because then it's not a nat 1. Ah. It's a D4.
You just need to beat 6.
It's a D4. Come on.
Okay. Yeah. Let's never speak of that again. Hawk. You've seen the confusing events. You're out of the grease, but it's kind of in front of you. You've seen a snail go through it without any problems. Would you like to go toe to toe with something that can absorb you and then eat your soul?
No. I'm trying to get out of here. Are we not? Are we not trying to get away from this thing?
It's a bit confusing. You're not quite sure what the actual. Yes, possibly no, possibly I'm not sure. But one.
I'm heading back that way, but I'll still hit it with an Eldritch Blast.
You reach a tactically secure corner where you can still see it and fire from.
Okay. 1 second. 14.
That hits. It's a large lump of jelly. I'm class of 6.
Right. That's 7
Yeah.
points of damage.
Like a spoonful of medicine. A single scoop comes out and it kind of does that blooping bit, but it looks a little bit more less solid. It's like jelly that you've started to kind of warm up a bit. It's starting to lose that consistency effect. Curiously, Hawk, what you also see is as you're standing tactically from that doorway, because you like the half cover from missile weapons and a jelly obviously fires at you, there are steps leading up.
Going up there.
We are now on to our wonderful cleric, who is still slightly burnt and, hasn't just murdered some innocent cosplayer. But what do you like to do?
Well, she's fairly confident that if the others want to fight, she's given them assistance in doing that. But she is rather like Hawk. This is probably more... We would need more money for this. We weren't contracted for this. This is a new negotiation. We've done our job. It's time to go.
And you move back to
Well, I'll do Toll the Dead first.
Okay, go for it.
Then I'm going to those stairs.
What's my saving throw?
Wisdom 14.
Oh yeah, because Jelly's got loads of wisdom.
I know. Isn't it great?
12 minus 2 is 10.
Yeah, so that would be 9 damage.
Oh.
And
she's jellified.
She's going to start backing up the stairs. And
you move towards that. Douglas, the speed of you and your mount have been phenomenal. This thing is, it's still a giant mound of jelly. You've got your brave Earth Genasi standing toe to toe to it. The fairies followed. You do notice two of your party seem to have tactically retreated.
Yes. I have. Now, it would be brave to fight this thing and take it down heroically, but if the majority is just leaving, then who am I to disagree with that? Because if I join them, it would be 75%. I think I'm going to tell Charlotte Crane to go pick who's back at who's fighting. Okay.
Basically, just the fighter that always is fighting. Everybody else is tactically indifferent.
Charlotte Crane, sorry if you take any hits from this. Can you just go grab Vasher and just try and drag him back? I think it's time to boogie.
She's on a giant snail. Remember the giant snail she's on?
Oh yeah, no. Poke the snail then and be like, I know that your mount, your slime daddy wants to fight a bit more, but it's time to go. And Douglas will dismount, run up towards the party, and then Charlotte Crane will come over and start pecking at the flail snail to try and signify let's
boogie on out.
Yeah, it's notify that the rest of the group has left them in the dust.
Okay. So the camera pans into a heroic scene of literally those kind of smoke puffs. We've got our fairy hovering above a pile of grease. We've got the rest of the party that are kind of moved away from conflict. Doesn't resolve anything apparently, apart from XP. And we now have the ooze that raises itself up a bit, goes, and is now going to is a target-rich environment of a snail or even. It reaches out to the Earth Genasi that has sliced it so cruelly, and that is a 19.
Ooh, Game Master, may I use a reaction?
Of course you can. This is
okay. So you just hear this sudden loud screech. I'm going to save your eardrums from Dandelion. And she's going to use Silvery Barbs as a reaction to try to instill momentary uncertainty. And I'll have to re-roll the D20 and use a lower roll. Whichever one is lower.
at the last moment, the thing shimmers and glistens, and it swoops across your hair, which gives you this incredible kind of gelled look. So much more heroic. It's that kind of blown back piece. Is the pseudopod trying to drag you into its form misses.
Ooh. Also, then Vasha, since you're right there, it's the spell. I haven't used it before. I'm sorry. This is exciting. You can choose a different creature you can see within range. The chosen creature then has advantage on the next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw. It makes within 1 minute. So I'll give that to Vasha.
Okay. Yeah, my beautiful gelatinous cube misses its chance to basically encase the fighter and turn it into a new beverage. We're on to our wonderful fighter now.
What happened to bevies?
Yeah, Dandelion, my apologies. It's your go. So you've just done your reaction.
Oh.
Now back to you. Because you two got an awful initiative, 4 and a 2. I mean,
it was pretty bad.
Yes.
Yeah. So Dandelion just screeched and then's like, "Oh, we're alone here, Vasha."
I think we're alone now.
I think we should skedaddle. And then I'm going to go ahead and use Nather's Mischief.
Nice.
And it's going to be a 1. So as she's starting to like kind of float away, she just starts nibbling on this random piece of apple pie crust that she apparently had with her.
Sure.
And just munching. And in the 20-foot area that the gelatinous cube is currently occupying, the smell of apple pie will fill the air. So it'll need to make a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by me until the start of my next turn.
Okay. Sure, that's bound to work.
Yeah.
Wisdom saving throw, you say?
Yes. It'll be DC 14.
Apple pie and this don't seem to go together. There is, even with a massive disadvantage, I managed to beat it. So sadly, it doesn't. Clearly not a big apple pie fan.
She just sits there floating, following the rest of the party.
We are left with our bold and dandelion fighter on her heroic snail mount.
Oh, snail buddy, we're all alone. This is not good. I had a brief thought of jumping off the snail's back and leaving him, but I don't know. I've grown a bond with the snail now. I can't leave him. I'm going to attempt to turn my snail mount and valiantly sludge my way through the room.
Right. Well, that actually moves. So you can still attack on your way out heroically, or you can disengage. Choice is yours.
Nope, everybody's leaving. I'm going to completely disengage.
Okay,
this is a bad idea. I'm all alone.
Yeah. The ooze is quite clearly confused by the smell of apple pie, and then snails don't move particularly fast as you can get, but you're in a slow motion race because it's using its move and its action to dash. It moves a whole 20 foot in space, which outpaces the gelatinous cube, which can only mend 10 foot in space. So there is this kind of like, go! Slow motion kind of like stepping race as it goes on. You are all out the door. Because you can move faster than 10 squares and you've got a viable exit, I will happily end the turns unless you'd like to do try and kill it.
Nope. Slowly trudging after party.
Yeah, it's more kind of that slip sliding from there. You reach the doorway. The door itself is curious. It is old. It is heavy. It's been reinforced from the inside, not from the outside. So Hawk, you're up there at the moment. You're looking at this door. It's almost ones you'd see as you see them probably in castles. It's really heavily reinforced. It's been reinforced over years as well, but it seems to be oddly enough on the inside rather than the outside.
I look. I don't really know what to do in this situation with this door. Means there's no like. There's no way to unlock it or like to knock it over. I don't have a way to do it. So I guess I would look at the party and ask, like, hey, what can we do? This insane doors right here.
Oh, I got a portable ram.
Sure.
I bought one for 4 gold earlier.
Of course. Just for these situations.
You go into dungeons and you go into delves and explorations and dig sites. You need to knock shit down, pour holy water on stuff, trip it up, set it on fire, and or use a ram.
Got it. Well, I'm glad you came prepared. With you and Shaka Khan, who can go wrong?
I'm like a bloody scout. Except
being a high fantasy adventure this has been, between you, your portable ram, the incredibly buff fighter, and her newfound snail companion, you make short work of the door. There is this kind of ominous, kind of Jason-esque music playing in the background, but because it's only moving at 10 foot around, it really is like a slow bit. You can kind of see it's like, and still see it. And Hawk, you can kind of see it's like, it's 50 foot. It's 50. No, it's still 50 foot. No, it's 45 now. And you're smashing through this door. You eventually make a large enough hole for you to escape through this door. It's been heavily reinforced, and daylight streams through the doorway as you do it. You can also hear the sounds of shouting from the up area. Voices you've heard before. Halfling voices saying hipster saves like, "Whoa, man, that's uncool."
I know there's annoying voices anywhere.
Those are those little bastards that we saved before that have something to do with what's down there.
Want to swap places with them?
Okay.
Yeah.
The stairs leads up to the old church that you'd seen the halflings have their brewery in.
Oh, are they brewing the cube?
They're brewing whatever that smell down there was. Remember that?
Oh,
when they brewing people.
Oh,
I would really not like the answer to that.
Don't ask questions you don't want to know the answers to.
Some other adventuring party can find that out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's above our pay grade. Are we getting paid?
I don't think so.
Yes. So we should just get our pay and go, look, we've done the job. The statue is dealt with, and we will see you later.
Yeah, dropped a bridge on it, and then we found our way back.
Yes.
And then if they pay us more, we can tell them about the murderous bunnies that are on their way to try to take over. But
I feel like they should pay us more. Yeah,
that's extra.
Yeah. That's another contract. You know,
as you surge past the outraged halfling hipsters that are currently chalking things on boards, the whiteboards seem to have a number of kind of slogans and phrases written on them, and kind of a number of positive, upbeat messages that have half got through. You walk past into the sunlight, and we end this wonderful adventure because, hey, why the hell not? Thank you so much.
We've done our job.
You have done your job. What comes next? Hopefully we'll never find out, but can live in the memories and thoughts of each of us that have absorbed it. I'm going to take this moment to pause. Thank everyone that has been here. I'm going to pass it around the table to just walk around and then explain where they are, where we can find them, and other messages of product placement. Buy Meeples and Dragons. Use Ardent. Don't stick sellotape to your eyeballs. You know, those kind of things.
I am a fan of that.
Thank you for all the donations. Thank you for all the time, all the effort, all the shenanigans in chat. And there are several people I will thank in a very special way in the future.
Oh, yes.
The timing, was probably terrible in thinking about this one, but I love you all dearly. Again, this has been for mental health, incredibly important cause. And when there's so many people that are struggling through, every thought counts, every conversation counts. Thank you so much. Absolutely amazing cast. One person I want to thank very closely. You can't see him, but we can. It's Clint that's been looking after us, putting up with this, making sure things work, making it magic happen. Clint, you know, if you weren't in a state that the people aren't going to vote for, you know, we'd give you a hug, but we're not. Moving swiftly on, I'm going to walk around our very wonderful group. So, Tammie.
So I am Telleri79. I come and derail people's streams, but I also play the Warlock in the Meeples and Dragons game. If you would like to read about our shenanigans, sign up for their newsletter.
Bree, the wonderful dandelion that brought magic and famous to us in ways that we never expected.
In ways I never expected either, Chris. Anyways, thank you all for having me. My name's Bree. You can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Breanna Flame. When I'm not able to join awesome charity streams like this one, thank you again. I am a cast member on Second Star to the Right here on Twitch. And I'm also a channel organizer, sometimes game master for the Initiative Order here on Twitch. And always a very happy, proud ambassador for Jasper's Game Day. So this was a pleasure and very chaotic and wonderful. So thank you.
Randy, as Hawk Feather I'm not quite sure what you were, but you brought an awful lot of it to it.
Which is fine. Hello, I'm Randy Alvarenga. I am in a lot of streams and my brain's not working right now. So follow me on Twitter at Roller Raja. That's ROLLER RAJA to see my schedule. And if you can, this Friday, Harbingers RPG episode 2 will come out. So you should go watch episode 1 so that you know what's going on. Thank you.
Kayla.
Thank you. I'm Kayla, also known as Time Lord's Wife. You can find a lot of my information at timelordswife.com. Literally all the links, all the info right there, one place. Right now, the only project I have is actually the finale for my 5e homebrew game called Heir Apparent. It is in a modern day setting of Los Angeles, and the players are sons and daughters of their chosen god parents. So they're like demigods. So very Percy Jackson, American God vibes thrown in there. So check out the finale. We'll be raising funds for Jasper's Game Day as well. So if you had a lot of fun doing this tonight, definitely come cause some chaos for the finale. We'd love to have you. It's going to be on Sundays, this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So yeah, that's really all the projects I have going on right now. Thank you again so much for having me. And again, I really appreciate being able to play with Bree and also Randy, a couple of fellow ambassadors. It was lovely meeting you and everybody else. I cannot wait to play more games with more people across the seas. Thank you.
And finally, Douglas, our beloved kobold that I didn't get to kill.
It's all right. Next time, you'll get me next time. Hey, I'm Matt. I'm a producer and content creator over at Split the Party, youtube.com/splittheparty and twitch.tv/splitthepartytv. We make D&D content, TTRPG content, and comedy content such as we're doing a Survivor Season 42 React series. It's something new where we are watching the show for the first time, having never seen it, and just tearing it to shreds. What else do? We do a miniature painting stream every Thursday morning around 8 p.m. ET in America and 10 a.m. Australian time. So that's literally tomorrow in about, 16 hours or something on our Twitch. What else are we doing? We're running a lot of Jasper's Game Day games between a few of us around here that I know that are in games. I know that if anyone wants to come and bid on the game that I am DMing, Chris is a player in it. So we're going to have the reverse situation. And please come and mess up my game because I somehow derailed my own Jasper's game. We've also listed another game that I am DMing. This one was a fun one. We're actually doing Kids on Bikes. Now, this one's only just had the auction go up, and we got 3 seats for that as well. I'm playing with AJ Winters and a couple other fantastic creators from Australia. But yeah, that one has only got a couple days left on the auction because we couldn't extend it. So if you bid on the seat, you probably will get it. And Kids on Bikes, I'm going to run the most Australian adventure possible. When I say that, I am from the rural North Queensland, so I'm going to go hard into that theme if you would like to play that one. I'm very fast and loose with the story too. So, what else? I'm a professional DM. You can hire me for those kind of games as well. dungeonmasterforhire.com.au. Thank you so much for the ambassadors coming as well. It was lovely to meet you all. I would love to have any and all of you to play with again, or DM us or something. But like, we really appreciate you staying up late as well, because it is such a time difference between our two countries.
Absolutely. And again, a huge thank you for everyone that's been in chat, did the retweets, helped or abused or whatever you did from that one, right? Again, greatly appreciated. Again, massive shout out, thanks out to wonderful Ardent folk that made the virtual reality that I tried to destroy as a DM work so well and make it so remarkably easy in the first place. And all the work that has been done by people in the background. So please keep an eye on this space. We've got adventures happening the week of the 15th. So that's 2 weeks time from there. Some people we know, Matt being one of them. I'm in one of Matt's games. I'm bidding for other Matt's games as well, because
lovely.
Just too short.
I'm gonna turn you into a sheep every time.
Shenanigans there. Let's see me do it on a bike. But thank you so much. This has been absolutely amazing. This was almost an adventure. Take care of yourselves. Thank you so much. And we're gonna wave like people waving.